Hello everyone, good evening to you. Bonsoir à tous et à toutes. Merci d'être au rendez-vous ce soir encore pour un autre moment d'échange autour de l'actualité, l'élection présidentielle du 12 octobre dernier au Cameroun. On sait qu'il y a maintenant une avalanche de nouvelles qui tombent au fur et à mesure que les jours arrivent. Le Conseil constitutionnel ne va pas se prononcer demain comme initialement annoncé. Il faudra attendre jusqu'au lundi 27 octobre prochain pour savoir ce qu'a arrêté, mais surtout ce que proclame le Conseil constitutionnel à l'issue de l'élection présidentielle du 12 octobre dernier. Et autour de cela, et entre-temps, Issa Tchiroma Bakary s'est adressé à la nation, à ses compatriotes, recherchant et demandant encore à M. Paul Biya de le féliciter, mais surtout se dit très prêt pour une transition pacifique du pouvoir. On en parle dans cette édition. On parlera surtout du PCRN, le Parti pour la réconciliation nationale, dont on a aperçu, dont on a vu plutôt les requêtes être retirées du côté de la Cour constitutionnelle. On parlera bien sûr de Cabral Libi et de sa place dans cette sphère politique. Aujourd'hui, on aura un invité à ce sujet. À noter également qu'en plus que le Conseil constitutionnel va se prononcer, on le saura d'ici lundi, déjà des communiqués appelant à tous les Camerounais d'être de retour chez eux dès 18 heures, notamment à Douala, où le préfet du Vouri a pris un arrêté dans ce sens, alors que des manifestations ont encore été observées à Marois et à Garoua précisément. Alors, nous allons évoquer tout ceci dans un seul petit instant. Invités. Nous en aurons 3 au total ce soir si tout se passe bien, mais nous en avons 2 déjà qui sont en ligne avec nous. Hello, et je ne serai pas seule ce soir. I'll be with Loveline. Angie, hi Loveline.
Hello, Sandrine. Hello, viewers from the world over, and especially in Cameroon. And welcome, of course, to your favorite program, The Talk with Mimi Mefo. And like you heard there from Sandrine talking about what we call actuality in Cameroon today is all around the presidential elections, which we all know the Constitutional Council has sent out a communique for the official proclamation of results that will be on Monday, the 27th of October. And before then, I just want to tell you it's been a whole time of waiting, excitement. Never has it been in the history of Cameroon that people wait for the proclamation of results like it is in 2025.
Merci Loveline, merci à vous pour cette introduction. On va attendre le 27 octobre, c'est sûr, avec la proclamation des résultats par le Conseil constitutionnel. Et juste avant que nous n'entrions dans ce studio, et on va en parler avec notre premier invité tout à l'heure, c'est que 2 avocats ont déjà écrit au Conseil constitutionnel pour lui demander d'arrêter les résultats avant la proclamation des résultats. Qu'est-ce que cela veut dire? On va en parler dans un instant. Quelles seraient les autres actualités, Loveline? What do we have?
And of course, we're going to be talking to, you've already talked about the PCRN member, Barrister Tamfo, that will be telling us from the legal point of view how he sees the rulings in Cameroon. We're going to talk also with our Cameroonian youth, by Blanche, who will be telling us her feelings also about the elections. And we're going to also have a king, all of them who are going to tell us what they see in Cameroon, especially when we talk about what is currently going on in Cameroon down. We got protesters that are going on. We got the whole place is having the military men in the major towns in Cameroon and all that. So we're going to have the feelings of all this in today's program. So stay tuned. You'll not regret it.
Absolument. Alors, restez en ligne et on va prendre tout de suite notre premier invité de ce soir, qui est Maître Tamfourisha, Barrister Tamfourisha. Hi, bonsoir.
Hi, Sandrine.
Hello, Barrister.
Glad to see you.
Hello, Barrister.
Hi, Loveline. How are you?
No, it's good. So happy to have you on the program today.
My pleasure as well.
Okay, first question with you. So, Barrister, I would like to ask you first. I know that I like prefer French, but sometimes we need to navigate, right, between French and
No,
English. Are you okay with that?
no problem. I'm okay.
Okay. So first question for you. You as a legal, I would say like that's way as a
A legal
barrister. So what do you,
personality.
absolutely. So what do you think about the Constitutional Council be putting things on the 27th of October? What does it mean according to you?
Yes, you have. Yeah, you have invited my legal cap. I think that
Yeah.
the Constitutional Council is the supreme body that is in charge of regulating and supervising elections. So, what is expected of the Constitutional Council is for it to proclaim the results of the just ended elections that held on October 12th.
Mhm.
So, and for the Constitutional Council to do so, it has to work with the reports of the National Commission that has been presented to it. That's the ELECAM, as we call it. So, it has a report that has been submitted to it, and it has a role now, maybe after some verification, to proclaim the results as a winner. So what we are witnessing is that it is taking some delay because it was first of all envisaged to be this Thursday. I don't know the reason why. I don't know the reason behind this other prolongment, but I think we are still within the time frame for it to pronounce the elections because from the 12th to the 27th, I think they have respected the time. Just that maybe we thought that it could come as earlier as possible, but which is not the case. So I just want to believe that the Constitutional Council will remain that impartial institution because that is what is expected of it, and to be able to deliver or say the law as it is, because
But
we are in a state.
I am not
Yes,
cutting you short. If you say will remain, it's like, no, you're trying to make us understand that the
no,
Constitutional Council has always been impartial. So you're expecting them to remain. Is that what you're telling us?
we know very well that almost all the cases that has always gone to the Constitutional Council, there is only one answer: irreceivable. I'm not disclosing any secret to anyone here. So I want to believe that is the matter before it today is not for it to say irreceivable, is to proclaim the results. And
So
I want
far,
to
so far, what are your assessments concerning the rulings that have been going? Because you just
no
made mention of irreceivable.
so far I've not been satisfied with the ruling of the Constitutional Council because there are some instances where you see that the law has been violated. But as a supreme body in the judiciary organization of the country, there's no other remedy you have. The Constitutional Council, to me, if you had to have my own personal opinion, has not always been that correct as it's supposed to be.
So
There are
now what
cases.
is your role now as a legal mind? No,
Uh,
representing the legal body in Cameroon. And if you see that the Constitutional Council is not going well, what is your role that you can bring it, to bring it back online so
yes,
that it shouldn't derail?
that is the highest institution as far as
Made by you,
wait,
the
yes, no.
lawmakers, all. Mhm.
Except you want to tell me that we should reform the state, we should reform that institution. Because the Constitutional Council is like God. When God has given his judgment, you don't have any other place to go. Except we have to reform this institution and put in place structures that will be able to get credibility. Today, as it stands, the Constitutional Council is not selling that credibility that we should expect. But now it is not doing it. What next? As a legal person,
Yeah,
I am not
yeah,
the president
Question
of
barrister.
pour
this.
vous mettre. Question
Okay,
pour vous
barrister.
mettre. Après,
Mhm. Yeah,
do
just
you have something else,
excuse me,
Loveline?
Sandrine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to tell the barrister, you've talked about Constitutional Council being like God. God is God. The Constitutional Council was put in place by you and I, that is man. And all the laws, rules, and regulations were put by you and I, man, which means they can be touched at any time. So I think from this is also a way for legal minds to see how to make it better for the satisfaction of all. Yes, Sandrine?
No, there is wait, let me clarify something.
Okay.
There is nothing as an individual, as a lawyer, as the lawyer that I am that I can do. The only way to do about is to dissolve those state institutions. That is, we dissolve everything and we start back to rebuild. So if a lawyer is dissatisfied before the Constitutional Council, there's no other way he can do. Either maybe to even protesting, that because that you will not be doing justice to yourself. The only thing to do is to have a change of regime or change of institutions, that one being dissolved and another one being put in place.
OK. Alors, Maître, je vous ai entendu tout à l'heure parler du Conseil constitutionnel et vous avez dit que vous attendez beaucoup de Conseil constitutionnel, que vous y croyez. Je pense que c'est exactement les mots que vous avez utilisés. Alors, ça veut dire que vous suivez pratiquement les pas du président national du PCRN, qui est M. Cabral-Libye. Alors, aujourd'hui, vous le savez, vous faites un peu l'objet de... Je vais essayer de trouver le bon mot qui ne heurte pas, qui est pas si méchant, mais vous faites l'objet de beaucoup de railleries, permettez-moi le mot, sur Internet parce que vous affirmez être loyal au président Cabral-Libye. Vu aujourd'hui l'aspect politique au Cameroun, que pensez-vous du PCRN? Est-ce que vous êtes satisfait de la façon avec laquelle le PCRN s'est conduit autour de l'élection présidentielle?
Madame Sandrine, nous sommes une formation politique qui se veut républicain, qui se veut respecter les institutions, parce qu'on ambitionne gouverner. On ne veut pas être vu de ceux-là qui sont les premiers à ternir ou à dénigrer les institutions. Je pense que le comportement du PCRN depuis les élections du 12 octobre est resté républicain. On a battu une bonne campagne, on est allé voter et on a les résultats que nous avons, mais de manière républicaine. Je ne pense pas que nous sommes en droit de venir dire, bien que nous tous déjà nous savons qui a les tendances, mais je dis ça devait être plus sérieux si on avait tous ces éléments à la main et qu'on attend que celui qui est censé le dire le dise. Mais aujourd'hui, ce qu'on veut, ce que les gens veulent du PCRN, par exemple, c'est de non, prenez position, vous devez... Non, moi, je ne pense pas qu'on doit parler dans cette cacophonie. Nous avons fait un travail de sérieux et depuis, nous restons sur la réserve. Parce que les gens pensent que se taire ou bien rester sur ces réserves veut dire que nous sommes faibles. Non. Aujourd'hui, nous savons effectivement quels sont les résultats des urnes. Et nous observons ceux qui sont en face.
Pourquoi vous ne le dites pas haut? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire pour vous être républicain? What does it mean?
No,
What does it mean, Republican?
No, to be a Republican, we cannot be doing things in a disorder. For example, as I'm having this interview with you, you speak, I speak. If all of us speak at the same time, for example, let me take a factual example. There is a camp that is proclaiming the result, or that has published the result, saying that President Paul Biya is first. Another camp is saying that it is Issa Tchiroma who is first. You now, as a common citizen who you don't have any first-hand information, you are left with what? To believe, who are you to believe at this point in time? So we have to refer
if I had to refer to the PCRN, who was at the presidential election, what do you think? What do you saw? So I think that's the only problem. So you say one can say Phobia one, another can say Issa Tchiroma one. What PCRN is saying?
Yes, PCRN will be able to give its position when the Constitutional Council will rule and will now come out to tell us what our position. We will not tell our position before the Constitutional Council because that's what people want us to do. And I don't think that is legal and proper like that.
Okay,
next question.
Mais êtes-vous satisfait de vos résultats jusqu'ici?
Bon, vous savez, nous sommes allés avec un objectif de gagner cette présidentielle.
Bien sûr.
Et sans vous mentir, je pense que le chemin parcouru a été très bien que nous n'ayons peut-être pas été suivis par les Camerounais comme on aurait bien voulu. Mais moi, je pense que nous avons fait, parce que ce qui est attribué, on ne doit pas regarder seulement les chiffres qui sont attribués. Nous devons regarder le travail de fond qui a été fait. Aujourd'hui, ce qui est donné comme chiffre, pour moi, je ne pense pas que ça devrait être un motif de jugement. Nous savons que nous avons un projet qu'on a porté et qu'on a vendu aux Camerounais. Maintenant, si peut-être ils ne l'ont pas apprécié pour des raisons ou d'autres, je pense qu'on doit s'en féliciter. Pour moi, aujourd'hui, je ne suis pas déçu par les résultats que nous avons ou bien par ce qui se projette parce que les Camerounais sont dans une soif de changement et qu'ils sont aujourd'hui obligés à accepter n'importe quoi. Mais si telle est la volonté du peuple souverain, nous, on n'aura pas que d'autres choix de s'aligner. Mais je ne veux pas qu'on se précipite dans des positions anti-républicaines. Non, moi, je ne pense pas ça. Je ne pense pas comme ça.
Okay.
Je
Alors,
pense que
lorsque vous dites anti-républicaine aujourd'hui, vous évoquez beaucoup, vous dites beaucoup républicaine. Je suppose que lorsqu'on parle de république, on pense à ceux qui sont là, on pense au bien-être des populations parce qu'on veut que ce soit une république assez forte. Pourquoi pensez-vous que le PCRN est si critiqué aujourd'hui alors qu'on attend que le PCRN se prononce? Vous avez dit, vous suivez les institutions. Est-ce à dire que vous êtes d'accord avec le système en place? Si vous êtes
non,
d'accord avec et
pas du
attendez toutes
tout,
les
pas du
institutions.
tout. Non, pas du tout, pas du tout. Nous ne sommes pas d'accord. Nous proposons même une offre alternative. Nous ne sommes pas d'accord avec ce qui se passe. Sauf que nous ne voulons pas, ok, quand vous dites que vous attendez du PCRN, de prendre, de faire ceci, de faire cela, moi je pense que ce qui est en train de se vivre aujourd'hui va nous amener dans un désordre. Et je pense que ce désordre ne devrait pas venir avant le respect des institutions. Ça devrait venir peut-être après. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, chacun sort la tête et dit c'est moi qui ai gagné. Chacun sort la tête et dit c'est moi qui ai gagné. Je me mets à la place du citoyen qui ne comprend pas tous ces enjeux. Qui va-t-il suivre? Il va suivre seulement peut-être la population. Alors que si on était resté, parce que lorsque tu es serein, il faut avoir cette posture. Si on était resté tranquille et que peut-être je prends un exemple comme ça, je ne suis pas dans les secrets, et que peut-être par exemple on ne déclarait pas peut-être Tchiroma vainqueur. Là maintenant il allait peut-être venir avec ses résultats pour dire non, voici mes résultats et j'entends défendre. Mais aujourd'hui on est dans une posture où lui se revendique avec ses pourcentages. De l'autre côté, une autre personne se revendique avec ses pourcentages. Moi
Mais
qui suis
qu'est-ce que
peut-être
le PCRN revendique? Vous n'avez pas encore répondu à ma question. Qu'est-ce que le
je vous ai dit
PCRN
que nous
revendique?
allons revendiquer après la proclamation des résultats. Vous aurez la position officielle du PCRN.
Qu'est-ce que ça va changer en ce moment-là? Si vous
Non, mais
pensez
bien sûr.
vraiment aux populations, si vous
Mais,
pensez vraiment au
mais
changement,
bien sûr,
qu'est-ce que
nous
ça va
allons.
changer?
Non, ça, pour moi, je pense que ça va changer parce que non, on serait resté sur le point légal. On aurait donné notre position et on aurait accompagné ceux qui sont censés, que nous on pense, qui sont censés être les vainqueurs, les accompagner s'il y a une revendication.
So
Alors, ça veut dire que si M. Tchiroma, okay, let's go, Lovely. I will come back to him like in a few minutes.
Okay, Sandrine, I want to ask the barrister if you're talking like that, you're like trying to say that those who are already revendicating victory, are they on the wrong path?
No, it's premature. It's premature to me. Very, very premature. And I think that
Okay.
it doesn't show any sign of seriousness. It will have been very, very legal if, because a state is not built, or a state does not operate in a cacophony. I think there should be some minimum of respect. All of us are envisaging to govern a state that should be a state of a rule of law. So if all of us should behave the way it is, that everybody comes and says, or the 12 candidates come and say, no, it's me that, even the PCRN could come and say, no, it is me that has won, and
But
give the statistics.
what let me say candidate Issa Tchiroma has said, is it unlawful?
No, to me, I cannot rely on the statistics that is having. I have not worked. I don't know. I have not worked with that.
No, I just want
I
to
will
know
only
about his
rely. I will
reaction.
rely with the results that the PCRA will present to me, and that is what I will rely on. So
Okay, no, I
just want to be patient and wait after the program. Yes,
barrister, my question is on his reaction. That you can say that you want to rely on what the PCRN will say. That's good and fine. But my question is his reaction unlawful?
it's unlawful.
So why then do we give results at the polling stations?
There's something you should. Giving the results is different from proclamation.
But he's not proclaiming. He has not done any proclamation.
He has said that he has won. He has already said that he has won the election. That is, he has already decided. He has already said that he's the winner.
Barrister, I know you are a critic. You are a critic of Issa Tchiroma Bakary.
I am not. Wait. Don't. Here we are talking about legality.
Exactly.
He has already proclaimed himself.
No, he didn't. Let me say something. We
okay,
have
go ahead.
10. Okay, barrister. We have 10 polling stations in Cameroon. Just 10. That's just an example. Out of those 10 polling stations, we have 6 main stations that have the population, that carries the population, or 7. And in those 7, you, Barrister Tamfu Richard, as a presidential candidate, you have an overwhelming majority in those 7. And then the other ones are supportive. What would be your say? Let's forget about the person.
No, you remain a legalist. You remain somebody that respects the law and wait for the institution that is supposed to declare or pronounce or make the pronouncement decide. And when the institution decides and you are not maybe comfortable, you now come and say, these are the results. Or this is what I have.
Bien, OK, on va avoir et poursuivre la discussion avec Bernard Galim. Je pense qu'il va nous retrouver dans un instant. Le temps que Bernard Galim arrive, juste une petite précision que je cherche à avoir, Barista ou Maître Tamfu Richard. Vous avez dit que vous attendez les résultats que le PCN va vous présenter. C'est bien cela.
Exact.
Mais il y a quelques secondes, vous avez dit que vous croyez aux institutions. Ça veut dire au Conseil constitutionnel.
Oui.
Alors, ça veut dire que j'arrive pas beaucoup à comprendre quel est votre raisonnement. Est-ce que vous croyez, ça veut dire que les résultats que vont présenter ou bien que va présenter le Conseil constitutionnel seraient le même que le PCN a en tête?
Non,
vous serez d'accord?
Non, vous faites une compréhension difficile là.
Non, je pense pas, parce que vous avez dit la même chose en 2018. Vous étiez avec Maurice. Mais quel est le problème finalement du PCN?
Je dis, nous respectons les institutions. Le Conseil constitutionnel va venir donner ce qu'il pense.
Vous respectez les institutions en quoi faisant?
Je suis avocat. Je ne peux pas respecter. Je ne peux pas me lever. En tant qu'avocat ou en tant que citoyen, je ne peux pas me lever. Je m'en vais brûler peut-être le tribunal. Je m'en vais brûler quelque chose. Je veux rester légaliste. Voilà, je dis, je veux rester. Je fais confiance à ceux que je pense que c'est eux qui ont ce pouvoir de faire. Et ça ne veut pas dire que les faire confiance ne veut pas dire que tout ce qu'ils te disent, tu avales.
No, but if you have confidence, it means that what they tell you.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's not what they tell you that you think that you just have to swallow. No. You respect the institution, but it's not that all what they say that you just swallow. For example, the Constitutional Council may come and give their own result, and I look my result and say it's not correct.
But what are your results?
I have told you that you have to be patient because we don't want to be violators of the law. We want to remain.
Est-ce qu'il y a une violation de la loi, Maître Tamfu? Non, juste vous rappeler, vous le savez, le code électoral. Je vais juste terminer, vous allez me corriger après. Le code électoral dit bien, et vous le connaissez, dans son article 113, que les dépouillements se font de façon publique. Cela veut dire que si j'ai la possibilité d'être dans plusieurs bureaux de vote ou d'avoir des personnes qui sont dans plusieurs bureaux de vote, je suis capable d'avoir des tendances à la fin de l'élection. Alors, en quoi est-ce que dit les résultats pour le PCN, les résultats que vous savez qui sont sortis des bureaux de vote, en quoi est-ce que c'est une violation de la loi?
Très bien. Tu as convoqué là la loi. Tu as dit donner les tendances.
Absolument.
Mais tu ne dis pas qui est vainqueur.
Bah, tu peux le dire. Les tendances,
tu n'es pas compétent pour faire cela. Tu n'es pas compétent pour faire se prononcer. Tu donnes les tendances, comme tu donnes là.
Quelles sont les tendances pour le PCRN?
Ça, c'est me demander, je vous dis, ça, c'est me demander, vous voulez creuser là ce que je ne veux pas. Il dit, pour l'instant, nous ne sommes plus à ce niveau. Nous sommes où on veut savoir qui a gagné. Et je vous dis que restez patient, vous aurez la position du PCRN après ce que le Conseil constitutionnel va se prononcer. Pour l'instant, je ne veux pas enfreindre la loi. Vous pouvez donner vos tendances. Chacun peut donner les tendances. J'ai gagné ici, j'ai fait ceci. Ça, c'est normal. Vous ne violez pas la loi. Mais venez dire que j'ai gagné. Dès que vous dites ça, l'autre dit aussi j'ai gagné. L'autre dit j'ai gagné. Vous voyez que vous êtes en train de violer la loi.
OK. Alors, on a Bernard Galim qui est là. Je pense qu'il aura une question pour Barista. Juste une question avant que Bernard Galim nous prenne la parole. Pour vous, quel serait aujourd'hui l'avenir du PCRN? Est-ce que vous entrevoyez les prochaines élections législatives, municipales, avec le score que vous avez déjà eu, que Cabral Libya a eu pendant la présidentielle, beaucoup moins que ce qu'il a eu pendant la présidentielle 2018. Qu'est-ce que cela vous fait croire? Est-ce que vous pensez que le PCN continue d'être un poids politique au Cameroun aujourd'hui?
Soyez-en rassurés. Je vous dis que nous ne nous fions pas par ces chiffres. Nous savons très bien le régime qui est en place et nous savons très bien comment est-ce que ce régime fonctionne. Moi, je
Auquel vous
pense que,
croyez?
bien sûr, vous devez croire. Vous devez croire, même bien que vous êtes obligé de croire. Il n'y a pas deux choses. Si vous ne croyez même pas, vous n'allez même pas aller aux élections. Parce que du moment déjà où vous allez aux élections, ça veut dire que vous donnez une partie, vous faites confiance un peu à cette institution. Donc, on ne veut pas être de ceux qui pensent que non, si on ne croit pas, ça veut dire qu'on ne doit même plus faire les élections au Cameroun. Mais on sait très bien qu'ils ont une machine de fraude. Et de notre côté, c'est de mettre un anti-mécanisme pour contrecarrer toutes ces fraudes. Donc, moi, je pense que nous restons très confiants d'aller aux différentes compétitions électorales qui vont encore se présenter. Et maintenant, peut-être encore réaviser sur des stratégies de contrôle et de surveillance, parce que c'est ça qui est aujourd'hui une difficulté. Au PCRR, par exemple, lorsqu'on disait que non, le secret n'est pas au niveau de la révision du code électoral, les gens pensaient que non, il fallait que ça soit révisé automatiquement. Mais on disait non, ce n'est pas ça le problème majeur. Si on peut toujours fonctionner avec ce code électoral, si par exemple on s'inscrit massivement, on vote massivement et on surveille notre vote massivement, on aura les résultats. Et je pense qu'aujourd'hui, il faut quand même donner du crédit à ceux qui ont peut-être pensé dans ce sens, au lieu de ceux qui ont peut-être essayé de décroyer les Camerounais pour dire que non, ces élections, ça ne marche pas, ces élections, on ne croit plus, et tout et tout.
OK, merci beaucoup, Maître Tamfouricha. Je vais passer. Merci à Bernard Galim d'être ici. Et
Okay.
j'espère que Bernard, lorsqu'il prendra la parole tout de suite, va quand même s'interroger sur ce que Maître vient de dire, de nous faire croire que le code électoral n'est pas révisé, alors qu'à cause du code électoral, il est impossible pour le PCN ou un autre parti politique de contester les résultats. Je le mets entre guillemets, pas juste introduire des recours au Conseil constitutionnel avant que les résultats ne soient proclamés. So I will come back to that. Hello, Bernard.
Thank you so much, Sandrine. Thank you so much, Lovelyn, for joining the team. It's amazing to have you here, and you're one of the leading Anglophone voices of journalism, and we are so happy to have you here. Barrister Tamfi, it's nice to have you.
Hi, Galim.
Yeah, it's nice to have you.
My pleasure as well to meet you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry I'm late. You know, we're just making things go as the elections are going on, and we're struggling to make people have their voices and let some clarity so that everyone understands where we are. I'm sorry if I missed some of the arguments you made in your answers before I joined, but what I caught you saying, two things I'd like you to expatiate on. The first one is that when an individual says he has won the elections, that is not a problem. But when many people say they've won the elections, that becomes a violation of the law. Can you help us understand the reasoning behind that statement?
No, I said that I am not comfortable with the fact that some persons who participated in the presidential election, everybody or any candidate is coming and saying I won. You may be having the various tendencies that maybe the results were good for me in this constituency, the results were good for me in this polling station. But now the proclamation of the result is reserved to, if we want to remain law-abiding, is reserved to the Constitutional Council. So I will have been very comfortable if those who are claiming to have won the elections stayed quiet and waited for the Constitutional Council maybe to give their result and then tell them that no, maybe these results are fake, these are the true results, and if he has to revindicate, he can proceed.
How many people have said that they've won the election?
Bia said he has won the election. Tchiroma says he has won the election. Any other person can still come forward. Or anybody can still come up, even PCI can even come up and say he has won the election if we had to be disrespectful of the institutions.
So you,
I believe, yes,
giving an opinion on the trends of the results is violating the Constitution?
No, giving an opinion on the trend is different from proclaiming yourself as winner.
Only one person can proclaim, and that is the Constitutional Council. So if
but what we see today, what we see today, or what we are seeing today is that Bia is saying that he has won, or people who are saying his mouthpiece are saying that he has won. Tchiroma as well is saying that he has won. So at the end of the day, the common citizen who is on the street, who is he supposed to believe?
So are you saying that whenever the Constitutional Council says that this person has won, everybody should believe that?
No, not everybody. The Constitutional Council is the only institution that is competent to proclaim the results. It does not mean that when it says that this person is the one that has won, that we should all of us believe. If he says that, for example, that it is Tchiroma or it is Tchiroma who has won, others will believe, others will not believe, and those who will not believe will maybe decide to take other actions.
So
to
if
maybe
Tchiroma
revandicate.
has data, if Tchiroma has data, as he has already presented his data that he has won, what is the problem with that?
No, he should wait he has to wait because no, he should wait. The law says that he's not a competent authority to come out and say I've won.
The law does not equally stop him from saying that he has won.
No, we should not be because I don't have my electoral code. If I had known that we had to talk about it, I would have brought all those things to you.
No,
you can be given the tendencies. I'm not opposing the fact that they give tendencies.
A little bit clear.
My problem is coming and saying I have won. Okay, fine. When you say you have won, another candidate will also come and say, with the statistics I have won, and that is what we are witnessing today. There is saying he has won. It is a problem because we have not stayed quiet to wait for the Constitutional Council to tell the person to tell us who exactly is the winner.
Does the law stop ELECAM from compiling results and giving the results as they come in to ensure there is transparency so that everybody understands how the results are coming?
The law does not provide that to ELECAM.
So
ELECAM's role is to collect, do the additions, finish the report at various levels. At the local police stations, there are possibilities of maybe doing the counting there and having the statistics. It goes to the departmental level, they continue to compile the results. It goes to the national level, they continue to compile the results. And when they have done all the additions and they know they know who has won, they now transmit to the Constitutional Council for it to proclaim. It's a whole process.
Them from making their compilation results public. Once there is lack of transparency at that point, it gives room for anybody to say.
In that case, if all of us see that is a problem, then we have to maybe reform elections Cameroon. We have to maybe reform the electoral code and provide for all those transparencies.
But you just said the problem to you is not the revision of the electoral code. I'll come back to that. So at this point, do you agree with Tchiroma's data that he won the elections? He has put out the procès-verbal out there for everyone to see.
I will not want to dive there. I will not agree with his reports. The only report that I will want to convince myself, even after the pronouncement of the Constitutional Council, will be the reports from my political party.
So, but your president already said he is third. So who is first?
No, you are the one misinterpreting what he said. That's not what he said. He didn't say he was third. He said the documents that were before him, there were seven of those procès-verbal, and he said that from the 7 documents that he's having before him, he's seen that in some places he's second, in some places he's third. He has never said he was third.
So who was first and second from the data he had in front of him?
I was not the one that was privy to it. I was not there when he was saying that.
So
all of us, we have a compilation team that has been compiling all the results, and they have been working, and I think they are still been working. So we are still doing all that compilation, and we have our results. Which today we cannot come out to say this has won, this has not won, because it is not within our competence. The competent body to do that is the Constitutional Council. So we want to remain legalist and wait. When the Constitutional Council comes and says that A has won, and we see that no, it is not true from the reports we have or from the documentation we have, we'll be able to come and say no. What the Constitution is saying is correct.
Are you not contradicting yourself? Your chairman already gave his strengths from what he was saying.
Yeah, of what importance will that be, Ngali? In just a minute. We're given the time to go and give the petitions there at the Constitutional Council, which your party did and withdrew. So why will you now come after the final proclamation, to revindicate, knowing fully well that you were given that time that you didn't do it?
You can revindicate your result if you are a winner at any time, at any moment.
So why did your party withdraw? Why did he withdraw again?
It is our strategy. When you file as a lawyer, for example, when you file an action and then maybe you discover that at the process you may not be having maybe supporting documents to substantiate your allegations, you are free to withdraw. It's a free. Nobody forced us to go to the Constitutional Council. I don't see why people should be worried when we removed our petitions before the Constitutional Council.
But Mr. Tamfu, there is one thing I want to get clarity on from you. Are you saying that whatever decision comes out of the Constitutional Council is what you are going to believe because the Constitutional Council...
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Did you not say that?
The Constitutional Council is competent to give the results that he has to give. I am free to believe, I am free to take it or not to take it. So when they will give their position, I will now look at the statistics that we have, and that will be my position because we have laid hands on first-hand evidence.
So what is the data your party has? Because your party has followed the procedure right to the National Vote Counting Commission. According to your party statistics, who won the election?
No, now like this, I'll be infringing the law if I give you who won the election. I want to wait for the Constitutional Council to do its role before I give my position.
Barrister, the law says the Constitutional Council adopts and
proclaims. No, the Constitutional Council proclaims the result, not adopts.
It adopts and proclaims within 15 days.
Maître Tamfou, c'est bien dit, article 137, arrête et proclame.
Now, proclaiming is just an official formality because the data is already there from the Vote Counting Commission. With the litigation, some adjustments can be made. But now litigations are over and everything was declared irreservable. Now, from your data in your party, this is what your party has as its own findings. It does not violate the electoral code in any way. Who won the elections?
No, it violates. We cannot proclaim. That's why. You are not
proclaiming. You are giving.
No, if we come and say this person is if we come out and say this is the winner, we are violating. That's a proclamation.
No.
We are coming to. Of course,
it is not a proclamation. When they call it proclamation, is because it is in the form
to make it. No, when you proclamation, you officially announce. It is not reserved to us.
You are not announcing officially because you don't have the capacity to announce officially. You are saying what you know.
No, it should be if we want to have it. It is to. I don't want to play in that. Proclaiming the results is not within the competence of a political party. Because I'm taking a simple example. If there were 12 candidates, if everybody was to violate or if everybody was to take the front and say, I have won, for example, we'll have, for example, 12 people who are coming and saying, I have won because there is that liberty. But
there is no problem with that. They are simply...
No, there is.
Moi, j'ai une question.
There is.
J'ai une question, maître. J'ai une question, 3 cas de figure pour vous, et puis vous me répondrez comment est-ce que le PCN se comporterait. Figure 1, le Conseil constitutionnel déclare Cabral Libi vainqueur de l'élection présidentielle. Figure numéro 2, le Conseil constitutionnel déclare M. Paul Biya vainqueur. Figure numéro 3, le Conseil constitutionnel déclare Issa Tchiroma Bakary vainqueur. Que fait le PCRN?
Ok. Premier cas,
vous ne voulez pas nous donner vos tendances, ça je le comprends parfaitement. Voilà. Qu'est-ce que vous faites ayant les tendances que vous avez, que vous refusez de délivrer? Qu'est-ce que vous faites?
Premier cas, si on déclare le PCN vainqueur, on célèbre.
D'accord.
Deuxième cas, si le Conseil
constitutionnel... When you say you celebrate, it's like saying that you will accept
anything that is good, you take it. Something will not be good and you reject.
What is good? That you will celebrate when you know very well that the statistics that you have doesn't give you the victory?
There is no honesty in politics.
Oh.
And yes, no. Because if they had to come and say we have won, we'll celebrate.
Okay, but now, so let's move on. Deuxième cas.
Yes, let's move on. If the Constitutional Council comes and says Biya has won, and we'll look at our statistics and see that Biya is not the winner, we'll tell him that no, you are not the winner. This is the winner. If they come and say it is Issa Tchiroma, and we look at our statistics and we see that no, it is Tchiroma who has won, we'll support him. And if he's not the one, we'll tell him that no, you're not the one.
Okay.
They will never support Bia even if he wins.
So Barrister, with your trends now, who is leading?
You still want me to go back to the same question? I have said,
Yes,
let us be
and
patient.
you know why. Et vous savez très bien pourquoi. Mais
Yes.
vous savez,
No,
vous
the
faites
problem is,
je vous suis tous les jours sur Facebook et je peux voir comment est-ce qu'il y a beaucoup de personnes qui ont maille à partir avec tout ce qui se passe au PCN. Et vous le savez, il y a 2 jours.
C'est parce qu'on veut suivre le vent populaire. Et c'est là l'erreur.
Non, pas forcément. Je pense que la population a juste besoin de savoir ce que pensent les autres acteurs politiques. Simplement.
Non, je pense que la population doit rester patient, respectueux des institutions.
Si c'est pour le bien de nous. Pourquoi est-ce que vous le dites pas? Le problème
non, on aspire à gouverner un État. Si on veut faire dans le désordre, tout le monde serait dans le désordre. Je pense qu'aujourd'hui, on veut rester légaliste. Et vous devez souffrir pour ça.
Est-ce que c'est un désordre là qui stand for something?
Bien sûr, parce qu'aujourd'hui, moi je pense que c'est un désordre. Je pense que c'est un désordre parce que aujourd'hui, Paul Biya, il dit j'ai gagné. Par exemple.
Paul Biya ne l'a jamais dit, et vous le savez.
Mais c'est lanceur. Voilà, tu vois qu'il est lui
alors, qui est-ce que vous croyez? Vous dites c'est lanceur d'alerte, je vais compléter le
moi, je ne crois pas,
vous avez à côté Issa Tchiroma, candidat qui le dit.
Non, moi,
est-ce qu'il n'y a pas un parallèle à faire?
Non, moi, je ne crois pas ce lanceur d'alerte. Je ne crois non plus Issa Tchiroma.
Alors, ça veut dire que vous ne croyez pas que Biya a gagné?
Vous dites?
Ça veut dire que vous ne croyez pas que Biya a gagné. Si vous ne croyez pas que ceux qui disent qu'il a gagné le fond, alors vous ne croyez pas.
Je ne crois pas que Biya a gagné et je ne crois pas que Tchiroma a gagné. Je reste encore légaliste pour l'instant. J'ai mes statistiques.
Barrister.
Je veux attendre le prononcé du Conseil constitutionnel.
Et comment est-ce que le PCN va revendiquer? Vous savez très bien qu'après le Conseil constitutionnel, vous le savez très bien, il n'y a plus de voie de recours possible. Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire?
La revendication n'est pas seulement par les voies légales. Quelqu'un peut aussi revendiquer par une sorte par exemple, une révolution, par exemple. Les gens ont beaucoup peuvent manifester. Les gens peuvent dire que non, les résultats qu'on nous a donnés ne sont pas corrects. Ils s'engagent peut-être à une revendication qui peut être même pacifique, même violente. Il y a plusieurs mécanismes. Donc, ça ne veut pas dire que lorsque le Conseil constitutionnel va se prononcer, on se plie et on rentre à la maison. En principe, c'est ce qu'on devrait faire. Mais ceux qui auront les mains sur une victoire vont dire non. C'est pas ce que le Conseil constitutionnel vient de faire là, ce n'est pas peut-être ça la vérité. Et ils seront en droit de revendiquer.
Barrister,
mais le faire avant. Vous ne voyez pas qu'il y a un danger?
Barrister, I just want us to clarify certain things here. From the position of the law, saying that you have won the elections before the Constitutional Council officially proclaims it is no violation of the law. I don't want us to...
It is.
It is no violation.
To me, it's a violation. To you, it is not.
The law is not your opinion. The law
is what it is. So read me where it is said that coming and saying that I have won is not a violation of the law. Show me that provision.
Show me the text where it says saying that you have won is a violation of the law. That is how the law is interpreted.
What I know
has been violated.
No, what I know
for that. What is the punishment for saying that you have won the law, that you have won the election?
No, what I know is that the law says that the institution that is competent to proclaim the result of a presidential election is the Constitutional Council. That is what I know.
Yes, the law does not say
the
law does not say that you cannot give your opinion.
You cannot say what the law has not said now. You cannot say what the law has not said. That is your opinion you are giving.
I am saying I'm using this opportunity as an educational opportunity for the viewers. The law says the Constitutional Council adopts the results from the Vote Counting Commission and proclaims the winner. The law in no way says that you cannot say that you are the winner, because that is going to infringe on your freedom of expression. That is a fundamental right that everybody has. Secondly, if the law says that you cannot say that you have won, it means that then you are violating the law. And you cannot violate the law if there is no punishment for violating that law. And there is no punishment for saying that you have won. Therefore, you have not violated any law.
Okay, in that case, if you want to go by that interpretation, then I will tell you that meaning that everybody or anybody that participated will come and tell you that I won. And what is the problem with that? You find yourself, or the person who is there, who is layman, will find himself with maybe 5 persons who are saying that I have won, and he's going to be lost. And the person is going to be lost. Who is he going to be?
Violation with that?
Who is he going to believe? That layman.
Where is the legal violation with that?
No, you're not getting me. I'm saying that if we have, for example, 5 persons who come and say, I have won, even though there is no legal violation as you claim, a layman...
I am not claiming. For a legal violation, there must be a sanction. What is a sanction for saying that you have won?
Okay, since the electoral code has not provided, right, we'll leave it at that. I am saying that if we go by the way you want to reason, it is that at the end of the day, we will have, for example, the 12 candidates, everybody saying, I have won. I have won.
If they say I have won, now they bring your evidence. Okay. And they bring their evidence.
Before you go,
no, anybody can compile or go to Excel and do all those things. I'm saying that for us to be prudent, to remain on the prudent side, we have to respect the institution that is ahead of us.
Okay.
Even though we may not be confident with what will come out from it.
Okay, so we have a second guest waiting. So I would like to ask Loveline to ask a last question, then a last question, and then we wrap up from there. So Loveline, you have the floor for the last question to Barrister.
Okay, Barrister, it's been a long one, a quick one. Are you sure or are you confident that on Monday, the 27th of October, the proclamation is going to give us a voice of the ballot boxes? And if not, are you like thinking or feeling uncomfortable with what might happen?
My fervent wish is that the Constitutional Council should act responsibly, because they are not there to serve any interest. They are supposed to play an independent role and say the law. So I want to remain confident that that is what they will do. And if they don't do it, they will be going against the sovereign will of the people. And whatever may unfold from that, they will only be held responsible. So I don't think the people who are sitting at the Constitutional Council are there to serve any particular interest. They are there to see the law. So my wish is that they should respect what has been the sovereign will of the people, what has been decided by the sovereign people, and say on that day who is the winner. And if you don't do it,
are you like anticipating the worst if they were not to speak the voice of the ballot boxes?
You can never determine. You can never say what will happen tomorrow. All is certain is that if they don't say what the sovereign, if they don't say what the sovereign people decided, they may decide to revindicate. They may decide not to revindicate. I am not God to read into their minds.
Thank you.
Bernard, question.
Barrister, thank you so much for sharing this time with us. My one question for you is, what is holding you back from picking up your phone as a party and congratulating Issa Tchiroma Bakary for having won the elections? Because every trend is out there that he won the elections. What is holding your party back?
I would have loved to answer these questions if I had hands on the results of the compilation committee that was put by the PCRN. If I had those results and I was the leader of that party, if I were one who went to the competition, I would have taken my phone and called him if I see that he's a winner. But I don't have a hand on it. The leader tells you he will only pronounce himself after the competent institution that is supposed to do. What else do you want me to do?
All right. Thank you so much. Just to note that your party has been in the vote counting commissions from the divisional and the national level, and they
Yes.
know as at now who won the elections, and they could not be at the national level if they did not have their own data already streamlined, sorted out, and know who won the elections. Until then, we're hoping to see the PCRN coming into the limelight and being a leading party. But I'm not sure they can be a leading party if they don't take a firm stand when necessity and life demands that.
You know, the time of a political party like the PCR and that has ambition to govern Cameroon cannot be the time of the popular cry outside. If not, it will be going in all directions. We have to we have to arrange we have to make things straight. It is not because there is this fervent cry that we should do like this that we only follow. No, we don't follow the crowd. We educate the
Alors,
crowd.
That's right. Even though it is a crowd that votes at
No,
elections,
we
you are not
educate the
saying that.
crowd. We should educate the crowd.
That's fine. Even though it is a crowd that votes at the elections, don't follow them. That's right. I love that stance.
OK, alors pour terminer, je vais vous laisser là-dessus. Si on vous a bien compris, le PCN est prêt à se mettre aux côtés de celui qui va être déclaré vainqueur de l'élection présidentielle. C'est bien cela? Que ce soit Paul Biya, que ce soit Issa Tchiroma Bakary?
Non, sauf Paul Biya. Le
Sauf Paul Biya.
PCN, voilà, si c'est lui qui gagne, nous, on ne va pas se mettre derrière lui.
OK.
Si c'est un autre candidat qui gagne, on va l'accompagner.
Alors, pour terminer là-dessus, quelle est votre appréciation de tout ce qui se passe en ce moment au Cameroun, des violences déjà, des personnes qui sont décédées en ce moment? Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? Qu'est-ce que cela augure pour vous? Et on va terminer là-dessus.
Oui, je pense que déjà, je vois un certain engouement. Les Camerounais en ont marre. Tout le monde veut le changement, quel qu'en soit. Et déjà, c'est bien, mais sauf que je ne veux pas qu'on se lance dans une précipitation où on ne va pas savoir comment contenir cela. Vous voyez déjà les incidents qui sont produits ici et là. Moi, je condamne ça parce que même ceux qui continuent à détenir le pouvoir aujourd'hui, devaient déjà penser que s'il y a cette possibilité de pouvoir quitter le pouvoir dans une atmosphère de paix, c'est ça qui devait être la primauté. Mais laisser les gens, ou bien que les gens soient peut-être manipulés, excités, et qu'on commence à casser, la violence, pour moi, je ne pense pas que si on aspire à gouverner ce pays, on ne va pas gouverner un pays qui a tout brûlé, ou qu'on a tout saccagé. Je pense que, où on a tout tué, le monde. Je pense que ceux qui ont des ambitions à gouverner doivent avoir un peu de réserve. Que ce soit celui qui est là, que ce soit celui qui veut venir. Moi, je ne suis pas pour cette violence parce que nous devons voir les exemples ailleurs. En Côte d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara et Gbagbo ont eu des disputes électorales. Il y a eu plus de 4000 morts qui sont partis. Après, ils sont revenus ensemble. Je pense que ce genre d'exemples doivent nous amener, nous, cette jeunesse, parce que eux, peut-être, pensent qu'après eux, le Cameroun ne va plus exister. Mais moi, je pense qu'après eux, il y aura un autre Cameroun. Donc, j'ai l'intérêt de préserver ce Cameroun que j'entends peut-être diriger.
Merci beaucoup, Maître Tamfo Richard. Thank you so much, Barrister Tamfo Richard. Unfortunately, we didn't have the time to go on the two soft Cabral and two soft no PV. We are lucky because we didn't get
well, those are social media intrigues.
Yeah, but it's okay, but that's still important to know what is going on now. But you know, like there's a lot of defection into the PCRN. So maybe we find another time to talk about it and to go out on come back on that. Merci beaucoup d'avoir été là. Merci. Alors, so we have our second guest of tonight is Ebaï Blanche. I don't know if she get us well. Bonsoir, Ebaï. Good evening to you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you. So, Loveline, maybe we have the first question for you.
Okay.
It's a pleasure having you on the program tonight.
A pleasure is shared.
Okay, so happy to have you talk politics. At the moment when we know back in Cameroon or in Africa and the world at large, there's a cry for more women in politics, and not just only in politics, but in those top positions because they make up the population. Today we have you, Blanche Ebai. You are a Cameroonian. You voted, and everything being equal. You know what? We love that when we vote, our vote should count. If not, we're going to say that there's no need for us voting. So when you vote and you want your vote to count, is there at any moment thinking with all what is going on in Cameroon today that your vote might not count?
Yes, I think so, that my vote might not count because first I want to say thank you for the opportunity. The media has a lot to play in producing information, circulating information, and due to the results that we have seen online, like results in the Northwest, in Mesaji, Jimmy Com, it's quite discouraging because it prompts us to ask ourselves questions like, who are the people who voted in those regions? So that fear or uncertainty that our votes may not count or what the people want may not count.
Hey, before we come back to you, Ebai, Blanche, and Loveline, I think we have a clip about you maybe somewhere. So we maybe like to ask to the tech heart of today, Mimimefo Dan or wherever is there, so that we can have to play that one, and then we come back to you. We have so many questions around like the political part, the role of the woman, and what are we supposed to know about you. So let's go to that part first, to that video. Yeah.
Okay.
To all of us. A lot of people will fear for me for speaking up. But how long do we continue to allow fear rip our hearts when injustice has made its habitation in our homes and pain has made its habitation in our hearts? Today I'm speaking up not as a politician or an activist. I am speaking up as a young Cameroonian, a daughter of the land whose heart bleeds for her nation. For several years, Cameroonian youth have suffered pain, abuse, fear. We have watched our brothers and sisters being arrested and silenced. We have watched our dreams buried under dictatorship when what we were promised was democracy. The Anglophone crisis has already taken a lot from us. It has claimed lives. It has made many IDPs. It has made many mothers widowed. It has made many young girls to be single mothers who were brutally raped, traumatized, and forgotten. Children have dropped out from school, not because they were lazy, but because they lost everything, even the very peace to learn. I am from Kumba. When they are gunshots, even a 1-year-old knows that he or she needs to run and hide under the bed. At a very tender age, what is introduced to them is fear. Our youths flee, risking their lives across oceans, across deserts, looking for greener pastures because home doesn't feel like home. When we finish school, we fight other battles. We search for jobs. We walk around with certificates in our hands, but with pain in our hearts. When we search for jobs, we meet corruption. We meet the powerful people who want to humiliate us, or the high and mighty who want us to sell our dignity for opportunities. And yes, we cannot fight for justice because oftentimes the law will turn it back on us and it will favor the high and mighty. Look at our roads. They are death traps. A journey from one town to the other seems like punishment. People are suffering. People are in bondage. In the 21st century, Cameroon still operates under the analog system. Other countries are moving forward and we are moving backward. In the 21st century, we still struggle with technological advancement. And yet, we are expected to smile and pretend as though we are not hurt. This year, the youth of Cameroon say enough is enough. We casted our votes. We voted for change. We voted for hope. We voted for the Cameroon we so dream of, a democratic Cameroon that leads for its people and with its people. We voted for a transition to hope and change. That is why we are begging, please. This is a plea to the Constitutional Council and to the Cameroon government. Please hear our cries. Let transparency take the lead. Let truth prevail over power. Let the people's will and choice be respected. We don't want protests turning bloody anymore. We don't want mothers to keep losing their children. We don't want young girls to be discouraged from dreaming. We don't want it. I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for millions of Cameroonians, underprivileged Cameroonians that have been going through hell. I'm speaking for the millions of young girls who still dare to dream. I am speaking for the mothers who pray endlessly for their children. I am speaking for the children who still want to go back home. Home is where we should be able to run back to, not where we are running away from. And so we have made our choice and we are appealing that please do what is right. The military people, we are begging you. You swore to protect us and not to silence us. You swore to serve the people and not to silence us. Please. Cameroon does not belong to just one group. Cameroon does not belong to one person. Cameroon belongs.
Yeah. Je pense qu'on est de retour. Merci. Alors, c'était donc une courte vidéo des activités de Blanche ébahie et elle vous l'a dit, elle ne se prononce pas forcément comme une femme politique, mais quelqu'un qui est dans la société civile et qui peut observer les cris des femmes, les cris des jeunes. Et on va revenir avec elle dans un instant sur son activité, mais surtout sur sa lecture de l'aspect politique. Mais avant cela, I would just like to say hi to Mr. Ben Hakim. He's a university professor. He's also like English Cameroonian for United, like a member of a coalition of Cameroonian Federalist Group. Hi, Mr. Ben Hakim.
Hi, Sandrine. Thank you for the invitation and thank you for the discussions you've had here. I'm glad to be here to share in the discussion.
Thank you so much. So we'll be with you in just a second. We just want to go back to Blanche Ébahie, but to ask her, so what is your purpose when you're making all those videos and then you are talking about the political now? You know that we are in like the type of a moment that is really important in Cameroon. Why are you choosing now to go out, to go live, to stand for the women at this time? Why?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. So I run an organization, of course, and I'm a community influencer, work towards empowerment for youth and for women. And during the time of the elections, we all came out, we voted massively. I think this is one of the years when Cameroonian youth have invested so much in voting and following up with the elections, which is something very commendable. And like I said, the media plays a huge role to create information and to circulate information. And we started seeing some results. I don't know how true those results are about people voting in areas that people have fled away from because of the Anglophone crisis, which makes us wonder if truly our votes are going to count. And so the video I made was not a video for war. I feel like this is a time where youth have to be encouraged to speak up. I know we live in an economy where our democracy is mostly on paper and it's not really pragmatic, which is something to admit. Because if you want freedom of expression, people would fear for you for being killed or being arrested for expressing yourself as a citizen or a born Cameroonian. So that was, like I said, that was an appeal to Aleka that gathers the vote and to the Constitutional Council, because I fear there's going to be a protest. We see the comments, we see the in the groups, we see people commenting, we see people talking, okay? People expect that their vote should count. And so if the right thing is not done, there may be a protest, okay? And as a leader of a community influencer, community mobilizer, it was very disheartening to see more bloodshed, whether in the Francophone region or in the Anglophone regions, which is what we don't want. So my video was literally an appeal to the two bodies that hold the result or hold the final say to please do the right thing, because we don't want more lives lost. People's lives matters and their voice also matters.
Okay, so Loveline, we ask the next question before we move on to Mr. Aki.
Okay. Sorry. Blanche, when I watched that video, I want to tell you it's heart rending. When we look back at all what is happening, when we see what is happening on the field, when we see the way Cameroon is being presented on the international scene, I tell you, it's a shame. You feel bad, saying that you are a Cameroonian somewhere because it's like a joke. Because it's going to start joking about you in one way or the other. Now you've made your appeal. You cried out to the institutions that be, starting with elections, Cameroon, the National Vote Counting Commission, now the Constitutional Council, which the Constitutional Council per se does not really have much because it's just going to read what they presented to them. Blanche, we've all be following up because we love our country. But I want to know from you, if Monday was to be another sad event or laughing stock event where the ballot boxes will have no power, what is going to be a reaction?
Oh, I was not going to feel very saddened by that, and I would feel afraid because I don't know what people can do. I mean, there are already riots in the north, the riots in Garoua.
Sure.
I saw a video yesterday. People in Douala went out to protest. Okay, and
Even
I don't
today
think
in
that.
Marwa.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I say even today there was
Yes.
a protest march in Marwa.
Yes, and a primary school teacher was killed. So, if in the years we hadn't gotten to the elections, we've recorded so many deaths in two regions. How much more when other regions join? I'm talking from, we don't want blood. We don't want to see blood because I feel like what we do much in Cameroon, the government reacts rather than acts. For example, the crisis has been ongoing since 2016. There has not been any eminent action towards the crisis, which has angered the people. And I believe that you don't beat a child and don't tell the child to cry. So it was ongoing. People took advantage of it. And a lot of atrocities have been committed, just like I mentioned in my video. Young girls forcefully, young girls who were raped, mothers who were widowed, and so on and so forth, which are things that are very disheartening to the society. But they always react, and sometimes these reactions come negatively. You threaten people who are already crying. You threaten people who are already widowed, people who are already mourning. So they don't act. And now it's the same thing that we envisage with the results that are upcoming. You're not acting to what is already swelling, okay? You're not acting to what is already, the heat that is already rising. You're waiting. If probably the right result doesn't come up on Monday, you're waiting to react to whatever is thrown back at you. You get? And probably that reaction will be negative. That is going to cause a lot of havoc, I think.
Yeah, sure. I just also want to say here that when you were talking, what really also touched me is a teacher whose life was brutally taken yesterday in the northern parts of the country when he was just coming back from school. And I want to tell you, somebody said it was a stray bullet. And I said there is nothing like a stray bullet shooting into a crowd. There's nothing like a stray bullet. If you don't have A, you are going to have B. So there's nothing like a stray bullet. Do you think that if the ballot boxes, if the verdict, the truth from the ballot boxes doesn't speak, do you think you freely get home?
Do I think I'll freely get home? You mean me?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm just like every other youth. I cannot tell. I don't know what will happen. I don't know if I will go to prison. I don't know if I will. But that is what a lot of people fear. To tell you the kind of country we are in. If they have these fears that, oh, Blanche, you spoke out, I did an appeal. I didn't call for one, which is my right as a citizen. Which is my right as a citizen, because I know about the articles in the Constitution. It's a democratic economy. And I came out because a lot of people are afraid. People have been writing. People have been speaking. But I did a video because I know my rights. And I don't know, and I know that the fears people have for me are justified, because that is the country we are in. You know, young boys cannot walk on the streets freely, because it's either they'll be arrested and just termed scammers, or they just always bring one or two little excuses that do not matter, because everybody wants to go, everybody wants money. So there's a lot happening in the country, and the youth are fed up. That is why we decided to follow the law, get our voters card, and register. And we are still appealing. Like I said, I'm speaking for the mothers who are praying for their children. The children who still want to go back home. I believe that if this country is amazing, if it feels like home, even those in the diaspora will want to come back home.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you, Blanche. Yes, for sure.
Just one. I just want to pick up from something that Blanche just said. And before Barrister Thankful left us, he said something about politics is lies telling. So do you think your appeal has any effect if we have to follow what Barrister Thankful said?
He said politics is lies telling, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he said politics is not honest. That's his exact words.
Politics is not honest in Cameroon.
Yes, it's not honest. Yeah.
And I feel like he should complete it. Politics is not honesty in Cameroon.
Which means there's not truth. If somebody is not honest, if I dishonest somebody, if they're really saying that the person is a liar.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I'm saying, that he should not say politics is not honest. He should say politics is dirty and is dishonest in Cameroon. He should be able to complete it. Yes. And I don't know if my appeal will be taken into consideration. I don't know what exactly concerning the youth has ever been taken into consideration, but let us speak first.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
You play a role.
Yeah. Hey, I will go back to Mr. Ben Aki. So, Ben Aki, there is a lot going on in Cameroon now. I know that you are a proof of several of what is going on, like politically, socially in Cameroon. So, what do you think at this point? So, we have a lot of manifestation going on. We are still waiting for the result from the Constitutional Council. So, what are you assessing the political environment now in Cameroon?
I think right now the people of Cameroon have done the first step of their liberation. They have voted in a way that is very clear who the winner is, and the winner is Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakary. So the next step now is to realize that the only thing the people in power, the CPD, and they fear is protests. They fear protests, but the people of Cameroon want freedom, and the only way they can get that freedom is by sustainably conducting their protests. And these protests have to go on until the government will be brought to the realization that the foreign countries, they are watching. I think major countries, you will not hear major countries coming to congratulate Paul Biya. The people of Cameroon need to create a political crisis that will invite them to the dialogue table. And I think the government is already doing that because we've heard rumors that the government is proposing the post of prime minister to the actual winner of the election. So this is already showing that the government is responding to the issue that there is a crisis. And I think Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakary understands the atmosphere the country is facing. The people do not want a prime minister. The people want Mr. Biya gone from power. And they will not stop until that is realized. So if they realize that the only thing that people in power fear, the CPDM fear, is protest, then you give them protest. I don't want people, especially you journalists, to make it difficult for the citizens by calling this protest riots, by calling this protest insurrection. Insurrection is what the government is doing by violating the law. What we are doing is protests which are in agreement with the constitutional provision and the provisions of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So the people are protesting because they are the ones who have the power, and once that becomes very, very obvious, especially after the false declaration of Mr. Biya as the winner, a political situation will be created where the African Union, the European Union, and all the other members of the international community will compel the government of Cameroon to come to the table. And if they come to the table, I foresee a recount of the votes, which will establish Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakary as the winner, and Mr. Biya will be forced to humiliatingly exit from the political scene. He still has time from now till Monday. He can call the president of the Constitutional Council and they will announce who the actual winner is, or the president of the Constitutional Council will say, these things do not add up. Please go and do your math again. Another time they will establish who the real winner is. But the point is that people of Cameroon have an upper hand, and that upper hand is protest. Anybody telling them that your protest is insurrection, or telling them peace and unity instead of justice, that person should not be listened to. The people should go ahead and mobilize and get themselves decentralized. The military, remember that in some polling stations where mostly military people voted, Mr. Tchiroma won. So they experience the same thing we experience. When they go to hospital, they get the same kind of care we get. When their children go to school, they get the kind disappointing treatment we get. When they try to travel from one place to the other, they face the same challenges on the roads, right? So the military understands that, but they understand that this is a political process. This is a political problem. It should be solved by the people. We don't want a military takeover. We just want the winner of the election to take the keys of E2D. Whatever it takes for us to do so, let us do it. Protest will be the key.
Okay, so does it mean that before Bernard, does it mean that the data that you have actually showing that Mr. Tchiroma Bakary is the winner of the last election? That's my first question. And then the second one, so you say that we don't need like to be, it doesn't need to accept like the prime minister position. So do you really think that at this point the Constitutional Council will say or will say the same result as you?
Well, the first thing is that we know Mr. Tchiroma won the 3 northern regions. He won Littoral, he won the West region. Fraud has been noted in the center region, otherwise he would have won the center region as well. So right now he stands as competitive. On what basis is Mr. Biya presenting his winning? Is it the falsified results in the Northwest and Southwest, which actually makes it easier for anybody to see that this cannot be the true result? So there is really nothing there that the CPDM can present as evidence. And if the president of the Constitutional Council is able to look at what is presented, the incoherence has to be very clearly established. But we are in a political process. There is law and there is politics. So right now, only the politics is going to be very effective. The number of people in the street is going to determine what the outcome is. And from some political science study, it shows that if you can bring out 1 to 3% of the population to the street, protesting something that is supported by the vast majority sitting at home, if you sustain this protest, you will get what you want. And you have to keep in mind that the military we are so much afraid of is only about 0.2% of the population. And among this 0.2%, you can say almost half of them, they sympathize with the people. So we have everything that we need to make it very clear that this is a political situation. The Constitutional Council has never really been talking about the law, otherwise Kamto would not have been eliminated. So it is a political process. Unless you match the politics, if you have people on the streets on Friday, on Sunday, I bet you the people in Yaoundé, first thing is they have moved the date of declaring the results of the election from Thursday to Monday. Why have they done that? They are responding to what is on the ground. And it's very important. It's very important for us to keep the pressure. And unverified sources are saying, yes.
Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. So what are your expectations from Cameroonians if the verdict of the ballot boxes doesn't reflect in Monday's proclamation?
So I think basically what we have now is two options. If Mr. Tchiroma is proclaimed the president, there will be celebration all over the country. If Mr. Biya is proclaimed the president, there will be more protests throughout the country, and that's the right response. To say, I am the sovereign, we are the sovereign. We know that the results and the verifiable result presented by Mr. Tchiroma, even if we take into account, if we take the results presented by Mr. Tchiroma and take the results presented by Lekam and just mix them, you say, okay, the results from Tchiroma, we will take them to be right. The other results which are presented by Lekam, we know that they are falsified, but let us put them together. You see that just combining these two will show that Tchiroma is still the leading candidate who should be winning. But if he goes further and tell you, I have the right result for Fako, I have the right result for Mezan, and let us verify this, we will see it is even clearer. And I think many people have this result. And what is also clear, let us keep in mind that Mr. Biya has been given the actual result of this election. The intelligence services have given him this the result. He knows the result. He knows he has not won. So it is only based on the political force of the people on the ground. And that's why they're trembling. That's why they fear Cameroonians talking to one another. They fear Cameroonians on the street explaining that this is our right. We have chosen our president and that president should be respected.
Thank you very much, Professor. In the run-up to the elections, you conducted a series of polls that showed the trend, and Tchiroma was largely on the lead in those polls. Have you conducted any polls so far to determine the temperature of whether Cameroonians will pour down into the streets to celebrate Tchiroma's victory, or pour down into the streets to protest and demonstrate if Tchiroma's victory is not given to him?
Thank you for the question. I have not formally conducted a poll to that effect, but I'm observing the trend. I'm observing the trend, and I think that the people are more excited. What is needed is some coordination, is some explanation of what needs to be done. And I have put forward, I've suggested to people that one thing that we could do is to take advantage of places where people already come together. This is very much a spiritual question. We saw that in Algeria, the protests, which were very successful, they started every Friday after prayers. Those who had come to the mosque, they would just continue after that to protest. So we need to get to that point. Right now, I think that the temperature on the ground, if I tell you informally, talking to people who are least expected to support protests among my friends group, these people are telling me that this is the only thing that we need to do now. So the question is one of coordination. The question is not the will there. There are people who you might never have thought that they are political. All of a sudden, they're telling you that we need to go down to the street and protest. So it's a question of coordination. And my humble suggestion there is to take advantage of places where people are already coming together for a peaceful purpose, such as coming on Friday to pray. And after they finish prayer, those of us who are not Muslims, we join them. We sing patriotic songs. We say what we want to see done. We want our victory to be respected because it indeed is the victory of the people of Cameroon. This is the first time in the history of our country that someone will come to the presidency by the will of the people of Cameroon. That's significant. And if the people of Cameroon succeed next week, within the next 2 weeks, because we have a window of opportunity we need to use effectively. If they succeed to get Mr. Biya to leave office, that's a message even to Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakary to say, remember, you came here by our will, and you better do the reforms that we want you to do. And the people would have established themselves as this.
Bernard, please, before you come back, I just have a quick question for Mr. Aki. Benjamin Aki, le Conseil constitutionnel a repoussé, on s'attendait aux résultats demain, la proclamation des résultats ce jeudi, mais le Conseil constitutionnel nous donne rendez-vous pour lundi prochain. Il y a des violences, il y a déjà des arrêtés de préfets qui interdisent la circulation des motos, qui interdisent une certaine circulation à partir de certaines heures, et même des manifestations, Marois, Garoua, Douala. Pour vous, qu'est-ce que cela veut dire? Qu'est-ce que ça peut vouloir dire? Quelle est votre interprétation? Pourquoi est-ce qu'on en est arrivé là? Je ne pense pas qu'il ait eu des occasions. Pour vous qui êtes un acteur, vous me corrigez si c'est faux. Il n'y a pas eu beaucoup d'occasions où le Conseil constitutionnel a dû changer de date. Qu'est-ce qui se passe à votre avis?
Il y a deux choses. Je pense qu'il y a deux choses. Si on regarde, ça fait presque 10 ans, presque 7 ans, on n'a pas eu de manifestations. Les Camerounais qui manifestent, qui disent que nous sommes pour cette position, pour ce programme politique, nous soutenons tel programme politique. Ils ont réussi à rendre le peuple tellement immobilier, d'une manière d'avoir autant de, je peux dire quoi, de peur. Ils ne peuvent pas se rassembler, mais maintenant, ça a terminé. Messieurs, si vous regardez même Monsieur Atanganji, il vient de constater que le peuple n'a plus peur de lui. Donc, c'est ça je crois que c'est ça qui a aidé aussi à prendre cette décision. Et derrière les coulisses, il y a quand même les négociations. Je crois que le président de la République française, il sait que le peuple camerounais cherche une solution. Et c'est très important que la France prenne la bonne décision dans cette affaire. Donc, je crois que quand même la France est mêlée dans cette situation. J'ai lu quelque part que c'est pas vérifié, que la présidence cherche quand même la médiation de la France avec M. Tchiroma pour qu'il devienne premier ministre ou quelque chose comme ça.
Oui, c'est une information vérifiée. Peut-être pas avec la France, mais il a au moins eu cette proposition.
Donc il y a quand même cette démarche parce qu'ils savent que le jour que c'est prononcé que M. Biya a gagné cette élection, ça sera une provocation de trop. Il y aura des manifestations. Le président a toujours utilisé les chefs traditionnels, les prêtres, les pasteurs pour prêcher paix et unité. Maintenant, cette paix et unité ne peut pas être prêchée parce que l'injustice est aussi flagrante que tout le monde peut constater que c'est trop pour le peuple camerounais. Le peuple camerounais veut quand même la vérité des unes et c'est M. Tchiroma qui a gagné. Et si le Conseil constitutionnel n'est pas prêt à prononcer le nom de Tchiroma, donc il faut quand même rendre compte de cette politique. Par exemple, si la proposition que j'ai faite, qu'on commence les manifestations après les prières vendredi, après les prières dimanche, donc si vous êtes le RDPC et vous voulez rester au pouvoir, c'est bien d'éviter vendredi, éviter dimanche et reporter cette déclaration lundi en attendant que peut-être vendredi, la situation sera maîtrisée.
Okay, Prof. A short one, Sandrine.
Yeah.
So far, we've gotten some people who were arrested across the national territory. And yesterday, the Minister of Territorial Administration, is it yesterday or the day before, who came out with a communique that was seen by many as not threatening, telling them not to go out or face the law, and telling them that some of those people who were arrested in the north, some will be taken to the military tribunal, while some to Yaoundé. What do you think? Because now it is that people should go for a peaceful protest so that their voices be heard. But those who are already behind bars, what do you think is going to be their faith at this level? Because I imagine a parent, a mother, whose son was on the street. Some they say we're not even part of it. Some were just going around their things and were arrested. Some were in the protest. What is their faith, and what do you think can be done? At this point in time.
Now, so the first thing is that we need to mobilize also lawyers to be very attentive. The law has clear articulations of what you need to do. If you arrest somebody, you have to charge them in one way or the other. We need to take that into account. But the other thing is that those who are already in prison, we have to take the responsibility to make sure that they are out within 2 weeks. How is that going to take place? If we continue and actually get the regime to leave, then these people will have the possibility of getting their freedom. But
But let me Paul
finish.
Biya.
Yes.
Okay. And do you think Paul Biya is ready to leave?
No, he's not ready to leave until we make him ready to leave.
So how do we do that?
There is nothing you can give Mr. Biya which will be more appealing than the power that he has. It only has to be that the people will tell him that we have had enough. And when you have sustained protest for a number of days, you're going to get that result.
Hey, bien, before we come back, Loveline, and we come back to Ben and Bernard in a second, I just want to maybe ask a really last question to Blanche before we go over, because we might have another guest coming. So Blanche, just a last question for you. So now that we are getting really, really close of the presidential results of the election, so what are your fears for tomorrow? What are your hopes and fears for tomorrow?
Okay, I also saw a communique that the results will be proclaimed on Monday. So I fear that the right results will not be proclaimed because of the information that is circulating. But I also hope that the right thing is done. I fear that if the right results are not proclaimed, there will not just be a protest, but there will be a war, and it may turn bloody because people are angry and people are sure of what they voted or who they voted, and they expect that their votes should be respected. I'm also hoping that if the right thing is done, there's going to be wide celebration in the country, and we believe that this is our transition to hope, this is our transition to change, this is our transition to a new Cameroon. What all of us, especially the youth, have been looking forward to.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Blanche. Thank you, Blanche. Merci beaucoup à toi d'être venue ici. Thank you to you. So we hope to see you in a while. So keep talking about the women, about the youth. I know that they are so really important for us to know what are they feeling. And then we always thinking that our political people, we always think about women and youth. Thank you so much for coming up today.
Thank you so much, Mom Sandrine. Thank you, Madam Loveline and Mr. Ben. Have a good night. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good night to you. So we will have Bernard Galim coming with us to continue with Benaki. So Benaki, j'ai juste une question avant que Bernard arrive. Vous avez dit que si M. Biya ne veut pas laisser le pouvoir, comment est-ce que vous pensez qu'il va être forcé à le faire? Dans la situation actuelle où on sait très bien que les gouverneurs, les préfets sont tout autour de lui et très souvent prêchent pour qu'il reste au pouvoir. Comment est-ce que ça va être possible aujourd'hui au Cameroun? Est-ce que les manifestations des populations, que ce soit à Maroua, que ce soit à Garoua ou un tout petit peu à Douala et puis à Yaoundé, est-ce que cela suffit lorsqu'on a également une armée qui est aux ordres du système en place? Comment est-ce que ça peut se passer? Croyez-vous à une transition si elle devrait exister pacifique? Ou alors est-ce que vous vous dites que les carottes sont cuites et M. Biya va rester au pouvoir?
Je ne crois pas que M. Biya sera au pouvoir d'ici quelques mois. Le peuple doit toujours maintenir la pression sur les manifestations et le gouvernement a besoin de l'argent. Le gouvernement a besoin des relations avec les autres pays étrangers. M. Biya prend soin de son image à l'étranger. Il y a beaucoup de journalistes, beaucoup de lobbyistes ici aux États-Unis, en Europe, qui font tout pour que les articles sur les articles télévision ou même dans les journaux reflètent toujours une image positive de M. Paul Biya. Mais avoir les manifestations dans son pays qui ne font qu'augmenter, ça va changer cette dynamique. Ceux pays qui ont beaucoup d'intérêt en Afrique, prenons par exemple les États-Unis, la France, l'Allemagne, l'Angleterre, les Britanniques, même l'Israël qui est avec lui, parce que ça c'est un de ces pays qui le soutient vraiment maintenant. À un moment donné, si se calculait, même la Chine, si se calculait que M. Biya ne peut pas résoudre ce problème. Parce que quand les manifestations vont commencer, vous allez constater que même se présenter devant le peuple, Biya ne sera pas capable de faire cela. On a vu ça pendant cette campagne. Il a visité combien de villes? Si ça devient clair qu'il y a des manifestations, le gouvernement est divisé. Il y a des ministres qui ont déjà félicité M. Tchiroma. Dans l'armée est divisée. Il y a beaucoup de ministres qui n'aiment pas M. Ngongo, qui est effectivement le président de la République. Si les manifestations commencent, il y aura des ministres qui vont féliciter le peuple qui est debout. Il y aura même les gens dans l'armée qui vont féliciter le peuple. Et M. Biya ne sera pas capable de se présenter chaque jour devant le peuple, expliquer que voilà, j'ai bien gagné, donnez-moi encore un peu de temps pour développer le pays. Il ne sera pas capable. M. Biya aura honte et les pays étrangers vont prendre acte de cette développement. C'est-à-dire, il faut les deux côtés. Le peuple doit manifester et les pays étrangers, les institutions, même FMI, les autres vont prendre acte que le gouvernement au Cameroun n'a pas le soutien du peuple. Et pour assurer les investissements, pour assurer même le paiement de dettes que ce pays ont pour le Cameroun, ça sera très nécessaire de prendre le côté du peuple. Il faut juste démontrer qui va gagner. Si le peuple est debout, les pays étrangers vont calculer que maintenant, l'avenir, c'est avec l'opposition. Et dès que ce calcul sera interprété, ça ne sera plus facile pour M. Biya de dire non, parce qu'il a besoin de soutien de la France. Et je crois que M. Macron, en toute honnêteté, j'ai communiqué à la présidente de la France que, étant anglophone, j'ai combattu la sécession, la séparation du pays, en disant qu'avec la politique, on peut arranger nos problèmes au pays. On peut arranger les problèmes, on peut faire une fédération. Mais si on a un pays où les élections n'ont pas de sens, ce n'est pas possible pour un anglophone de dire que nous pouvons rester ensemble. Si on ne peut pas respecter cette élection, il n'y a pas de fondation pour une nation, pour le Cameroun. Donc, tous ces gens-là, la France va calculer ça. Pour la France, l'avenir, c'est avec l'opposition camerounaise.
Très bien. Alors, Bernard et Loveline auront des dernières questions. So, I would just like to say welcome to our next guest, Leopold Zesser. It will come up soon, while Bernard and Loveline are asking the last question to Bernard. Bernard.
Thank you so much, Prof. Before I come to my question to Prof, ladies and gentlemen, we're amazed and very happy that you are watching us and that you spend all this time with us. It's incredible work we are doing. It's incredible that you're also here watching us, and we're happy that you are here. Please, as we are watching, just take a second, whatever platform you are watching on, Beyond Africa Podcast, Mimime for Info, CNN News Agency, click like, subscribe to our channels, or become a member. That is the best way to support us and to also support the journalists who are doing incredible work to supply us with the information that we need. Please, that is all we're asking of you. Like, comment, share, become a member. And if possible, you can send us contributions because that is what keeps us going. Thank you so much. Let me come back to Professor Aki. Thank you so much. We spoke about the polls that you conducted pre-election. Why are you not conducting some polls now to determine if Cameroonians are willing to demonstrate or whatever strategies they would like to celebrate the victory of Issa Tchiroma Bakary or revindicate his victory?
Yes, well, some of these polls, they cost me money. I don't have any any funders for this, but I am very, very convinced that the time has reached for this. What if I had money? I'll put that money more into mobilizing people to interpret protests as constitutional, or protests that are defending the constitutional provision for all votes to be counted and for the will of the people to be respected. That is a constitutional act. And so my effort is more directed towards that, but I take your suggestion, and I think that's something that we would like to follow up. We would like to also to get more light on that. But I think sometimes you can measure the temperature, and that temperature is very clear that if you look at the northern regions, they are ready. If you look at the west region, they are ready. And then even the center region, where they say, okay, if Yaoundé is in peace, everything is in peace. Now it's not quite clear that that is true. That people are willing to come out and protest. So far there is a fear. There is just a fear that there will be incoherence. I think the determination, the steadfast messaging that Mr. Tchiroma is putting out is very correct. It is left for us, the civil society, to say that we have been the more consistent voice in this election. Those who call themselves opposition parties, they are now revealing themselves that they are just allies of the government in power. So it's left for us, the civil society, to be very clear in our message that we're encouraging people to protest, and not call this insurrection, not call this riot, but say these are protests with a very clear message. Count the votes because we know who the winner is.
Yeah, what do you make of Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakary's speech early today, calling on Cameroonians to be prepared to protest? Do you consider that as a patriotic action or a strategic action? But at the same time, what are the risks involved in him already telling Cameroonians to be prepared to protest?
I think we live here in the US and we live everywhere. A politician always has the right to tell people, if you support what I'm saying, make it clear to the media, make it clear to the other side. Come out and let us rally. Let us say, this idea is a good idea. We want everybody to adopt it. That is a political process. Protests are part of politics. And a politician has the right to say, if you support me in this idea, come and let us go out and protest. Now, of course, they will tell you, for you to protest in Cameroon, you need to declare it, and then there need to be no opposition to it. But if we already know that those who are in the government right now are those who have stolen the power of the people, then we cannot reasonably expect those who have taken institutions captive to allow us to express that. We have to say, any law that is requiring you to get permission to protest is unconstitutional, because the Constitution is the highest law and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that give people the right to make politics more peaceful. There is nothing more peaceful than a protest. We are not telling anybody now to go and take a gun and say, you go out and then attack those who are stealing an election. Yeah, we are telling people the most peaceful political act, which is protest. This is what you have available. And I applaud Mr. Tchiroma's ability to be very clear in that way, to say that this is how we are going to make sure our victory is not stolen. And I believe if he stays the course, the AU, the EU, and all of these other foreign actors will take into cognizance that the president needs to talk with the media.
Yeah. I have one last question for Mr. Aki, but I would like Sundrin introduce Mr. Leopold, then we'll come back to that.
Okay, thank you, Bernard. So we are coming. Ben can stay here for a while. So I just want to say hi to Léopold Zesse. Bonsoir à vous, Monsieur Léopold Zesse. Merci. Merci d'accepter notre invitation et merci d'être avec nous. So, on va, en tant qu'observateur de la société civile, en tant qu'acteur politique également, on va revenir sur l'actualité politique actuelle au Cameroun, qui est bien sûr l'élection présidentielle. Avoir vos impressions sur ce qui se passe, on reviendra à vous dans un instant. C'est juste pour vous dire bonsoir et bienvenue.
Bonsoir, 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 bonsoir à tous.
Okay, we're happy to have you on set.
Yeah. Okay, so I think is Bernard still here or Bernard, can you hear me?
Yeah, Bernard is right
here.
Okay, perfect.
Loveline that had one last question for me.
Absolutely. So Loveline first, yeah.
Okay, I want to ask Prof. I'm happy to hear you are in the US. And I learned that in the US, it's the incumbent that won elections there. So I don't know whether you didn't vote. But my question now still goes with the children behind bars. Something needs to be done to take them out of that place. And I also want to ask you, you've been talking about protest. That's true. And I think that it's very important to tell the people that if they have to go for a peaceful protest, the destruction of property should be out of the question. It is a matter of making their voices heard. Prof, if you were to be in Cameroon today, will you take part in the protest?
Absolutely. I will not be. It's very important for us to make it clear. Protests have to remain peaceful, and that's how you will beat the system. We have to make sure protests remain peaceful. But even if protests are provoked by the military and then somebody has an outburst, you need to still factor that into the picture that these people are being provoked. But advise people to remain peaceful. Now, I think we need to have, as civil society, we need to have more coordination. That means we have to be raising funds and support to get lawyers going and seeing these people who are in detention. I think one thing just in that aspect, the capacity of prisons in Cameroon is 20,000 people. Right now, we have about 30,000 people in the system. So there is really no space. There's even more than that. There is no space in prison to keep people for a long time. So most people who are arrested will be kept there for 1 or 2 days and let go again. But they can even be let go on the same day if we have more lawyers involved and going and following up very systematically. So this is a place where the civil society needs to be more organized and provide the resources. Wherever you are arrested, you should be able to call a number and then they will know that you have been taken. We don't want anybody to be disappeared because the system is in this way. But we need to have a hopeful disposition to show that we are going to win ultimately. And that means whoever is applying the law has to bear in mind that tomorrow the consequences of my actions will be examined and I better act in accordance with the law. So even if somebody's breaking something, the police arrest that person, they have to keep that person in charge and then look at whether it's a major crime. Do they have the evidence? Do they really need to follow through, or they should just let the person go? So I think we are at that stage. We need to emphasize peaceful protests. We need to organize resources to get to those who are arrested to make sure that they spend the least possible time in detention. And then we tell the officers that we know what the law is about this particular thing. It's protest, the political process. It's not insurrection. The government calls it insurrection to say you're rising up to take power by force. We are not rising up to take power by force. We're rising up to defend the Constitution, which says count the vote, read the winner, and then make sure only the person who has won should take power. We are protesting violation of the Constitution.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof. My last question, you've alluded to it in previous conversations, especially regarding the question about those behind bars. But what is evident from what you're saying is some people are definitely going to violate the law. And what direct message do you have for the forces of law and order, that is the police, the gendarmes, and the military, who are being used to violate these laws?
So the message is clear that Cameroon is going to remain, and those who are trying to cling to power, they will go. And whatever your actions are, you should weigh in that particular possibility that you'll be here to give an account of your own actions. And therefore, the safest message, or the safest thing to do to our brothers and sisters who are in the police force, these are our brothers, these are our uncles, and these are people we know. The message we're giving to those in the police force, in the gendarmerie, in the armed forces, is very simple. Respect the law, respect the rights of the people. The Constitution gives us the right to protest. Anybody trying to take that right with some kind of warning and threats is acting against the Constitution. So as long as we are protesting, allow that to take place. But also don't provoke those who are protesting. Because when you provoke people and then they tell you they were acting in self-defense, it makes it difficult for you to control the situation. And if the forces of law and order, they know this very well, that they only make up about 0.2, 0.1% of the population, and potentially 1 to 3% of Cameroonians will be on the street protesting this particular injustice. It is not safe for them to go against the law. They have to be friendly. They have to guide the people. They have to advise them to be peaceful in whatever they are doing. They are part of this. We are fighting for them as well.
Okay.
Thank you so
Très bien.
much.
Thank you so much, professeur. Merci à vous. Je pense que vous pourrez rester si vous n'êtes pas très pressé.
I have a meeting.
You have a meeting. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, thank
No
you very
problem.
much. And thank you for the wonderful job you're doing, because this is the first thing that the government doesn't want us to do, to talk about issues like this and reach people. So we are breaking that. The next one to break is the streets.
Thank you so much, Professor Benjamin Aké. Merci à vous d'avoir accepté de nous offrir ce moment pour discuter avec nous. Nous souhaitons une bonne soirée. J'espère que tout va bien se passer. Et on espère vous retrouver bientôt pour d'autres questions autour de l'élection et puis de l'actualité politique au Cameroun. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Okay. On va juste dire une fois encore bonsoir, Monsieur Léopold Zesse. Je sais que vous observez beaucoup l'actualité électorale, l'actualité politique au Cameroun. Ma toute première question pour vous est celle de savoir quelle est votre lecture de la démocratie au Cameroun aujourd'hui?
Merci beaucoup, Sandrine. Merci beaucoup. Peut-être pour planter aussi un tout petit peu le décor, je dirais que dans une de mes vies antérieures, j'étais directeur exécutif de Transparency International Cameroun. Et j'observe les élections présidentielles d'un point de vue purement technique. Je me permets de le dire là, je suis non partisan, donc ça me donne toujours ma liberté de ton. J'ai aussi, dans une vie antérieure, été informaticien, analyste, et j'ai développé des applications pour la gestion des élections présidentielles, entre autres. La première application, c'était en 2004, suite à un défi que le ministre Marafa, à l'époque, il disait qu'en 8 mois, ce n'est pas possible de développer quelque chose pour suivre les élections. J'ai trouvé que c'était un peu insultant, et en 3-4 mois, je leur ai fait une proposition. Évidemment, personne n'a répondu. Et en 2011, alors Transparency International, ils ont vu les activités que nous proposions et nous avons soumissionné à un prêt. Nous avons eu une subvention de l'Union européenne pour faire l'observation de la présidentielle 2011 au Cameroun. Je suis à Yaoundé en ce moment. Et ça s'est très bien passé. Nous avons formé 840 observateurs qui ont été disséminés dans les 10 régions. Et je me rappelle que le soir de cette élection-là, vers minuit, l'équipe de l'Union européenne est venue chez moi au bureau pour prendre les chiffres. Ils ont dit « We trust what you're doing ». Parce que c'était vraiment une approche statistique. Et puis bon, voilà, en 2018, à ce moment-là, pour soutenir mon ami et frère Batoni Akeremouna, j'ai affiné l'application de gestion des élections pour pouvoir recevoir les résultats par SMS, en plus des emails, parce que sachant que les emails allaient être coupés, on en recevait par SMS. L'observation de l'élection de cette année, elle est claire sur la base de tout ce que vous savez et que nous recevions. C'était un raz-de-marée. Et ça, je le dis d'un point de vue simplement analytique. À l'observation de la présidentielle, par exemple, de 2018, 71%, les 71% que le président avait eu, 48% venaient du Grand Nord, donc seulement 23% de toute la partie septentrionale, la partie méridionale, c'est-à-dire que les 7 autres régions. Donc, comme pendant longtemps, on a toujours dit que l'extrême nord, c'est la réserve de voix et tout ça. Donc, le travail de manipulation des chiffres, ça leur suffisait, les trois régions du Grand Nord leur suffisaient. Mais cette année, ils ont été extrêmement surpris de voir le volume de travail qui s'imposait à eux. Cette année-ci, ils étaient obligés de manipuler les chiffres dans les 10 régions. Et la surprise pour eux a été telle que nous avons tous vu les chiffres dans le nord-ouest et le sud-ouest. C'est quand même inadmissible que des gens, des zones qui sont aussi marginalisées, aussi brimées pendant pratiquement 10 ans, qu'on puisse nous dire aujourd'hui que ces personnes-là ont voté à 100% pour celui qui les a confinés pendant 10 ans. Vous voyez, c'est, je dis, juste une question de bon sens.
Ben, lorsque vous dites « ils », de qui parlez-vous?
Ils, ceux qui se chargent de l'organisation des élections. Je préfère ne citer personne pour ne pas en oublier, parce qu'il y a l'ECAM, il y a l'administration territoriale, il y a les donneurs d'ordre, il y a les bailleurs de fonds. Je veux dire, la classe politique qui instrumentalise ces organes-là, qui en réalité ne sont pas indépendants et qui ne sont pas neutres. C'est pour ça que je préfère dire « ils ». Par exemple, les fraudes, toutes les fraudes que nous avons vues en Mondovision impliquent un seul et même parti politique. En 92, nous avons observé la présidentielle. À ce moment-là, j'étais encore à la CRTV. Certains avaient le plaisir ils disaient balayalement que oui, dans le nord-ouest, dans le sud-ouest, dans le littoral, il y a eu de la fraude en faveur de John Fodi. Bon, cette année, c'est en faveur de qui? Cette année, toutes les fraudes, c'est en faveur de qui? Cette année, toutes les fraudes, quelles sont les personnes qui sont impliquées? Red-handed, comme on dit, comme vous dites. C'est pas possible. Donc, nous ne pouvons pas non plus faire comme si nous étions aussi naïfs. C'est dans ce sens-là que je le dis. On voit ce qui se passe et l'erreur, entre guillemets, l'erreur cette année, ça a été de ne pas couper Internet.
Okay. Loveline, I think that you have one question for Mr. Nzese, while I'm going to maybe ask to Bernard to come up for some question. But before Loveline, juste une question pour vous avant que Loveline vous pose une question. Je pense que cette question-là sera en anglais. Mais avant cela, vous semblez être assez péremptoire. Il y a eu des fraudes, il y a eu de la falsification. Je pense que vous voulez également dire qu'il y a eu razzia et que le candidat Issa Tchiroma Bakary a remporté les élections. Mais on s'attend à d'autres résultats qui vont être proclamés lundi prochain. Pour vous, quel est l'état d'esprit? Lorsque vous analysez la scène, vous avez dit vous avez travaillé avec Transparency International. Pour vous, s'il fallait analyser la scène politique et surtout sociale en ce moment au Cameroun, à quoi est-ce qu'on devrait s'attendre du Conseil constitutionnel au regard de tout ce qu'il y a eu?
Ben, du Conseil constitutionnel, il ne faut pas attendre autre chose que ce que leur donneur d'ordre leur impose. C'est-à-dire que le Conseil constitutionnel va très certainement proclamer le président sortant vainqueur. Ne nous voilons pas la face. Les membres du Conseil constitutionnel de l'ECAM, les membres du gouvernement et autres ne sont pas des Camerounais et nous, des Centrafricains ou des Tchadiens ou des étrangers. Nous connaissons. Et nous connaissons notre mindset, nous connaissons notre psychologie. C'est des gens qui vont jusqu'au bout. Ce sont des jusqu'au boutistes.
Alors, vous pensez que M. Biya va gouverner cette autre année?
Là, c'est un autre volet de la question. Parce qu'une chose est d'être proclamé vainqueur, une autre est de pouvoir gouverner. Mais quand nous voyons les 7 années qui viennent de s'écouler depuis 2018, il ne faut pas être sorcier pour se rendre compte que ça va aller de mal en pis. La situation va devenir de plus en plus difficile pour nous. Et pour répondre à l'aspect de la question, quel est l'état d'esprit des gens Je suis allé au Conseil constitutionnel cet après-midi pour leur mettre du courrier, puisque vous le savez, nous travaillons par ailleurs dans d'autres groupes. Dans les principaux carrefours de la ville, c'est ce que nous disions, les forces anti-émeutes sont disposées, elles sont là, prêtes. Je suis à Yaoundé, le rond-point de l'esplanade de Tsinga devant la sous-préfecture. Il y a des gendarmes et des policiers qui sont là avec leur outillage. Et c'est sûr que la veille, ça va être renforcé. Et quand ils l'ont fait, il y a 1 mois et demi ou 2, nous avons, avant la proclamation de la désignation des candidats qui ont été retenus pour la présidentielle, ils l'ont fait avant. C'est un signal clair que ils redoutaient quelque chose. Et les partisans de M. Campton ont constaté que M. Campton ne faisait pas partie des candidats. Donc, ça veut dire qu'ils savent ce qu'ils ont prévu et ils s'attendent à une certaine réaction. Et on n'a pas besoin de dire aux gens faites ci, faites ça. On n'a pas besoin. Les gens sont plus mûrs que vous pouvez imaginer. Quand vous voyez l'attitude des gens à Tchang, il y a quelques jours, à Garoua, à Maroua, à Douala, on n'a pas besoin de leur dire faites ci, faites ça.
Tout à fait. Okay, Loveline, a question, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Leopold. I'm happy to have you once more. I want to also say, in as much as we want justice, we want that the voice of the ballot box should be heard. On Monday, our hearts go with the family of Honorable Abe Michael, the parliamentarian from Donga Mantum, who was killed. I think that was yesterday or today by, as we learned, separatist fighters. And mostly all this because they think or they say he was not so much involved in the electoral fraud in Donga Mantum division. However, our lives matters. So maybe we could have another way of treating all the fraudsters, not by taking their lives. Mr. Leopold, I've heard you talk about what has been happening. We know a lot has been happening when it comes to protest across the national territory because more than 5 regions are already involved in this protest, which means more than half of the country have witnessed it within this short time, less than 2 weeks. You are in Yaoundé. Results are going to be proclaimed on Monday. And we have the whole place, military everywhere. How do you feel as a Cameroonian on the international scene, because you are a member of the civil society, and we've all been seeing what has been happening on the social media. We've seen a whole national television where they are having their program and they take Cameroon as an example and they laugh over it about what is happening in Cameroon and those who are in power. Can I know your feelings, your impressions as a Cameroonian beyond the national boundaries?
It's really a pity that we're living these poor spectacles. And I was part of the CRTV since its creation in 1985. I know the mindset of people there, but they don't care. They think that they are protected. But my feeling, it's a shame, because when you see the image that this beautiful country is offering to the rest of the world, and knowing that you have a lot of people abroad who know us differently, it's really a shame. But given that things will be proclaimed on Monday, that's a personal feeling. You know, here in Yaoundé, here in Cameroon, the civil servants, they receive their salary every 25th of the month, on the 25th of the month. So proclaiming on the 27th, to me, it gives them some room of maneuver to collect their amount, their salary, and to make some reserves of food and flour and oil and whatsoever, because anything can happen anytime in our country. And let's be fair enough, and we can compare what happened, what occurred a few weeks ago in Madagascar. It lasts only 15 days, and we know the outcome there.
Results. Mm-hmm.
And we also know what happened in Gabon a couple of years ago. The trigger was the presidential election in Gabon.
Exactly.
We remember that they proclaimed the false results, and less than half an hour later, General Oligi Gema came out, and he was not coming from the opposition. We should keep that in mind. And we should also remind that on the 12th of October, many people from the army had their votes casted in favor of Mr. Tchiroma.
Tchiroma, okay.
Yes, meaning that we cannot state that the whole army will be against the people who will protest. No, we'll have.
That's true. I think there's no doubt about it that a cross section of Cameroonians want a change.
That's it.
And we've seen some government officials, we've seen the Minister of Territorial Administration and his outings, which many people look at it as threatening. You are a member of the civil society. What do you think the civil society can do to redress the situation in Cameroon so that even those beyond national boundaries can come back home with ease? And also that, the truth, we're talking about elections, of the ballot boxes should be reflected in Monday's proclamation.
Maybe at Monday's proclamation, frankly speaking, I don't expect that much from them. But we should all remember what happened a few years ago in Kenya. The Constitutional Court in Kenya, after those frauds and so on, they decided not to come out with the proclamation. They suspended. Although you say, okay, Kenya is not Cameroon, but they postponed it for 2 or 3 months, and votes were recounted. But here in Cameroon, as a member of civil society, we should also say, I should only say that people should protest. We have different ways of peaceful protest. We have different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, thank you. Now,
I also know that the officials in other countries, they are also expecting a lot from us because we're also in contact with some ambassadors and so on. But now, frankly speaking, we as Cameroonians, we should tell the truth. We are not an independent country. We are not at all. We are not independent. I just remind you what happened a few years ago when Mr. Camto was sent in jail for 9 months. An activist in Paris, Calibro, he talked during the agricultural show in Paris. He talked straight to Mr. Macron about that situation. And Macron said, okay, I'll give a call. And a few days later, Mr. Camto was out.
It was released, yeah.
You have people abroad who have that influence on our people. And the way our government reacts is that the only challenge is the one they can face with people abroad, outside, not with people from within. No.
Bella, question for Mr. Nzuso?
Yes, Mr. Nzuso, thank you so much. You just said that there are many ways of protest. Could you help outline these many ways of protest so that those who plan to protest can be able to organize themselves and knowing the different methods of protest that they could use?
The first one that comes to mind is civil disobedience. To come down street quietly, without disturbing, without burning, without destroying anything, but quietly, so that people will know that they go down massively to say that we don't recognize ourselves on those results. And
yeah, thank you. You must have seen. Yeah, I'll leave you the floor. But you must have seen a communique, I think, from the prefect of Wuri, which says that he doesn't want to see 3 people together. So, how would a massive, peaceful protest overcome this challenge from the prefect of Wuri?
We should let them know that you have legitimacy and loyalty, legality. Legitimacy comes first. He's just acting according to the law, but the law will never prevail on that. Never. Right inside the Constitution, those kinds of demonstrations are allowed. So the outings of people like Mr. Atangaji and so on, they are not, I'm sorry to say that they are not smart at all. That one is not, just to think that someone like him, Atangaji, is a minister of such an important position. It's,
I have still not heard how to overcome or how to counteract the limitations of 3 people. So if 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 people want to do a peaceful protest, how do they overcome the 3-man prohibition by the prefect of Wuri?
The prefect of Wuri is just extending an instruction that he received from his boss, who is Mr. Atangaji. I'm talking about Mr. Atangaji. Prefect of Wuri is nothing because people know where they live. People know who they are. So we should not be blocked by those things. When people say, okay, we have listened to what you've said, but we don't agree with what you've said in the Constitutional Council, what will prefect of Wuri, even that prefect of Wuri, I'm not sure he'll agree with that. And again, within those bodies, you have people coming from different places of the country and who don't agree with them. I think you get my point. People from the northern part of the country who are prefects, who are SDOs, who are governors, who are member of the government, who are member of Elecam. They don't agree. So we shouldn't think the way that you have the people on one side and you have those administrative high-rank officers on the others. No. And Cameroon is not, we behave the way any other country behaves. We saw in Madagascar. I'm not sure that when people came downtown in Madagascar to protest against electricity and water cut on those petty things that would make a Cameroonian laugh. When they came down, they were not going down on the legal basis, but they are the people. They are the ones who pay the salary of those prefets and sous-prefets.
So this takes me to the point of pre-demonstration, mobilization, and preparation. I know those are not questions that could be discussed on air, but do you have the impression that there is the pre-mobilization or pre-demonstration, pre-protest mobilization practice training ongoing? Do you have that impression? Because people want to go down to the street at some point. They also want to be sure that they are protected against the police and the gendarmes and the military.
No, frankly speaking, when the guys go down to the street, they don't think that way. Not at all. And yesterday we had a meeting with Jokam Chamini and yeah, but he was not part of the meeting yesterday. But
okay.
We had a close to 3 hours meeting. He told us clearly that they are not asking the people to do this and that. Also, that they will not ask people to refrain from whatever they decided to do. That will be very hard for them.
Okay, I think let's move to another strategy. What is another demonstration strategy that will be peaceful? I know Edith Kawala organizes Fridays in Black, and Professor Ben Aki spoke about joining people who are most, for example, the churches to pray on the day of prayers, so that after prayers you can just start singing maybe patriotic songs or doing patriotic actions. I don't know if those are things that can cross your mind to as actions that could lead to protest.
I've been in close to 20 African countries, Western ones, South Africa, and so on. People will react differently. But in Burkina Faso, for instance, people got down the streets, and in a very, very noisy way. Because when you dress in black and so on, that it's okay. But we are also sending strong messages to people abroad. When the traffic is somehow disturbed because you have a lot of people in the streets, people will shoot that with their cameras, and the world will know that people are not happy in Cameroon. That's it. The guys were not happy in Chang, and we saw how they got straight to the ballot boxes that were hidden. The guys are not happy in Marwa. They are not happy in Garwa. They demonstrate their own way. In Yaoundé, in Douala, they demonstrate their own way. That's it, actually. Because we should be humble enough not to try to control this and that. No. Any crowd has its own intelligence. And there's, the trigger depends on the country. But when the guys are really decided, go away.
What I'm hearing from you is that protests are not planned and structured. Is that correct?
Protests should not be planned and structured. That's my way. That's my point. They shouldn't, because knowing the way we behave in this country, all the guys who will be involved in planning whatsoever protest, they'll be sent in jail. We saw yesterday a letter from the ministerial from the Minister of Trade, Magloire Baratana, a letter addressed to the head of police and giving 2 names of trade unionists from the bikers.
Yeah, motorcycles, yeah.
Motorcycles, yes. This is not correct. Because those are people, maybe they were planning to do this and that. No, we shouldn't. I don't think that the reaction of people in Chang were organized and planned. They just said that this is not. We have the PVs, we have the reports, and we want those reports to be sent to the court. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, Monsieur Léopold, avant de vous laisser partir, je sais qu'il nous reste quelques temps encore. Je sais qu'il commence à se faire tard pour voir Yaoundé.
Non, moi, je travaille toute la nuit, maman. Toute la nuit. C'est comme ça depuis une semaine. C'est pour le Cameroun, donc vraiment.
Merci beaucoup pour cette confiance. Alors, vous avez dit tout à l'heure avoir fait un tour cet après-midi au Conseil constitutionnel. Alors, quelle est l'ambiance là-bas?
C'est calme, très détendu. Très détendu, c'est normal.
Like nothing is happening, you know.
No, and nothing special is happening, you know. And those guys from the gendarme and the policemen that I saw there, you know, they are paid on the daily. They have some crimes on the daily basis. So,
They have allowances.
Yeah, there are allowances. Yes, they have allowances on a daily basis. So no.
Alors, en début aussi, vous nous disiez, non, before you go, Loveline, I just have one question, please. Vous nous disiez qu'on ne serait pas surpris si le Conseil constitutionnel venait à déclarer M. Biya vainqueur, lundi prochain. Alors, pour vous, comment est-ce que vous entrevoyez la réaction de M. Issa Tchiroma Bakary? Qu'est-ce qui va se passer? Est-ce que vous vous dites qu'il y aurait un gouvernement à Yaoundé et un autre à Garoua? Qu'est-ce qui va se passer pour vous? Ou parce que M. Issa Tchiroma s'est encore adressé aux populations aujourd'hui, il continue de demander à M. Biya de le féliciter, il dit être ouvert à une transition pacifique et on n'a pas l'impression que du côté de Yaoundé, ça va dans le même sens que lui. Alors, après lundi le 27 octobre prochain, si M. Biya est déclaré président de la République, qu'est-ce qui pourrait se passer de votre point de vue?
Je ne sais pas combien nous sommes, mais je vais vous dire ce que je pense. Ne me demandez pas de le prouver.
OK.
Mais je pourrais le démontrer à tout moment. Monsieur Biya est inactif, il est hors service. Je ne suis pas sûr que M. Biya sait ce qui est en train de se passer au Cameroun. Je dis le vrai M. Biya, le vrai. Moi, je ne raisonne plus dans le sens de commande, non. J'ai fait un certain nombre d'observations depuis quelques années, avec même des analyses vidéo. Je vous dis, je ne devrais pas le dire ici, mais je vous le dis, celui qui sort là, il faudrait qu'un jour il nous prouve que c'est M. Biya. Je répète, il faudrait qu'il nous prouve que c'est M. Biya.
Vous avez dit que vous ne pouvez pas le prouver, mais que vous pouvez le démontrer.
Je vous le démontre.
OK, allons-y avec la démonstration, peut-être c'est mieux.
Tactiquement, politiquement parlant, M. Biya, le vrai M. Biya, n'aurait jamais shooté la candidature de M. Kamto, n'aurait jamais éliminé la candidature de M. Kamto.
N'aurait jamais, je n'ai pas bien suivi.
Éliminer la candidature de M. Kamto. Je ne suis pas du tout partisan de M. Kamto, mais c'était le meilleur moyen de le circonscrire. Kamto a été candidat en 2018. Est-ce qu'on a eu besoin de faire toute la démonstration actuelle pour démontrer la victoire de M. Biya? Pas du tout. M. Kamto, candidat, il aurait réduit et relativisé l'ampleur de la victoire. Et donc, ça l'arrangeait. Donc, M. Biya n'aurait pas permis cela. Vous dites que monsieur, il ne dit pas vous, ils nous disent que M. Biya est là, il va qu'à ses occupations. vous le savez, 6 ans sans conseil de ministres. 4 ministres sont décédés, jamais remplacés. Le Conseil supérieur de la magistrature, presque 6 ans sans se tenir. Le secrétaire du Conseil, c'est M. Esso, Laurent. M. Biya, il est là, il va qu'à ses occupations. Aucun de ses ministres, il n'a reçu. Aucun de ses ministres. Même le Premier ministre qui allait souvent là-bas chaque semaine, je crois le jeudi ou le vendredi, pas de réception. Mais il n'apparaît que lorsqu'on dit où est M. Biya, où est M. Biya, il apparaît, on voit quelqu'un sortir pour recevoir l'ambassadeur des États-Unis. Et on voit M. Biya aller à l'aéroport avec toujours 30 secondes, 1 minute de vidéo pour montrer. On ne le voit pas. Non, il y a tellement de choses à dire. Et puis, je vous dis, ce n'est pas une technique nouvelle.
Mais qui est dans le monsieur Biya qui a tenu un meeting à Marois il y a quelques jours?
Je vais vous répondre et je vais employer le mot que les gens refusent de lâcher. Je me permets de le faire ici. De toutes les façons, ma position à Transparency m'a coûté à ma famille, à mes enfants et autres. Ça, il n'y a pas de problème. Le mot que je vous lâche ici, c'est le mot sosie. Et ce n'est pas une invention camerounaise. Il y a un sosie de Xi Jinping en Chine. C'est la langue que j'enseigne aussi. Il y a un sosie de Poutine. On parle de sosie depuis même Ceausescu en Roumanie. Donc, pour des raisons d'État, on peut comprendre qu'un système aussi devenu de plus en plus fébrile mette en œuvre ces méthodes, ces techniques-là. Donc, c'est ça que je suis en train de dire. Donc, c'est pour dire que ceux qui ont décidé de mettre la candidature de M. Biya pour 2025 savent pourquoi ils le font. Et on le sait, ce n'est pas une invention de nous. On sait quelles sont les personnes qui profitent de ça directement là-bas au palais. On le sait. On le sait. Et on sait ce qu'ils prévoient.
Ça veut dire qu'il ne faut pas s'attendre à une transition au Cameroun en ce moment?
Ils ne veulent, ceux qui commandent le M. Biya là ne veulent pas de cette transition, ils veulent le pouvoir. Je vous l'ai dit tout à l'heure, ils sont des jusqu'au-boutistes. Les M. Gorgor, les M. Fouda, ils ont mon âge. Hein? C'est ma classe d'âge. Ils ne sont pas plus futés, plus malins. Non, je vous dis, l'idée selon laquelle ils voudraient changer la Constitution pour faire en sorte qu'en cas de vacances de pouvoir, le vice-président termine le mandat du président, c'est le boulevard vers un poste présidentiel sans élection. Vous êtes journaliste, vous voulez des faits. Donc, il vaut mieux rester dans les faits. Moi, je suis un analyste qui va au-delà de ces faits et qui anticipe. J'étudie énormément la psychologie humaine. Donc, vraiment, je suis désolé de vous faire ce mélange-là, ce package. Let me give you that whole package. Mais vous auriez tort de ne pas explorer ce que je viens de vous dire. Vous auriez tort. Vous serez toujours surpris. Donc, dans cette perspective-là, les tenants du pouvoir actuel, qu'est-ce que vous... Ils ont le pouvoir en main, vous voulez une transition? Transition au profit de qui? Vous voulez réduire le pouvoir qu'ils ont déjà en ce moment? Dans la transition, le secrétaire général de la présidence, par exemple, qui bénéficie de la signature permanente, délégation permanente de signature, il devient quoi dans votre transition? Alors que c'est le vice-dieu, comme nous l'appelions à la CRTV. Il devient quoi dans la transition?
Are you in any way saying that even if that as things stand right now, they could organize a palace coup to bring in someone to play the role of the military that has organized a coup, replace the government, and then appoint themselves into those strategic positions again to continue running the country?
You got it. That would be the Gabonese way. So now, at this time, the people in Cameroon have, according to me, my humble point of view, 2 ways. Either they behave the way Nepal did, and which Madagascar decided to follow. Either or they decide to solve the issue of the Gabonese way, meaning that someone right from within will come out but the fact is that you never master what the military will do completely. As a civilian, You never. I will confess that for more than 30 years, I behaved as a special advisor of two generals, General Ganso Suji and General Tato. And thanks to that, after I left Transparency International in 2011, I spent 3 years in the DRC as an IT trainer for the military justice. And many of them told me that maybe I was a soldier before and I didn't let them know that. Just to say that we, as civilians, we have a way of thinking and analyzing the situations, but the military have their own. So you're right, again, that Gabonese way is quite possible in this country.
Yeah, the Gabonese way, like you said, is quite possible in the country. I also talk of each country having its own trigger.
Exactly.
Mr. Leopold, what will you say about the second personality of the country that since the beginning, from campaign to elections until today, we've not heard from him? What will you say about the system?
I would say that, again, it's an evidence that Mr. Biya is no longer available. When I say no longer available, I'm not saying that he's dead, no. But the second personality of the system, Mr. Nyat, let me just remind you that the social networks have already killed him 3 times. So I used to say in my family that, even if you take, there's a corpse who was supposed to go to come in the country this time, the Mr. Jean-Luc, the late Mr. Jean-Luc, who died in Belgium.
Yeah.
I sometimes say, even if you take the second personality, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, you put them together and you send them to God, it will not change anything in our country. But there's only one man. If it happens that the man is no more available, is no longer there, the country will change. And let me also remind you that we are leaving that vacancy, that power vacancy. Now, we don't just want to talk about.
Yeah.
Article 6.4 of our Constitution says that the 3 cases of vacancy, death, resignation, or permanent unavailability, when you no longer,
inability.
Inability. We are leaving the 3rd case. We are leaving the 3rd case. And nobody's talking about it.
Okay. Given that we have our big personalities in the country are already at a particular age, which to me is wisdom, and every other youth will love to see them use their age more respectfully and wisdom. But now we see that there is this grips on power. And just like you've said, that the third option of inability is the one that is reigning in Cameroon today. So to whom does this grip on power profit?
You really want me to give out some names? I'll give them. Mr. Gogo, Mrs. Chantal Biya. Those are the main people. And now you have at the second level, Mr. Ayolo, Mr. Babuke, and a couple of people in the army. Meaning that, just like in Gabon, those people, if they are held under custody or put aside, they will be the one to ask the army and all those people that please calm down. But if we want that to be, if you want that to happen, we really and we definitely need international pressure. Only that. Because in Gabon, I was really I did an analysis of that. In Gabon, when Mr. Oligingema came out, a couple of days later, he received the French ambassador in Libreville for 1.5 hours, for 1 hour and a half. He received him. How can you imagine that a coup was done in the country where you have a French military base? So people should just understand that we are not free country.
Yeah, Mr. Leopold, you just spoke about international cooperation, international
Pressure.
pressure in this case. How can that be deployed? I interviewed Dr. Christopher Fomonyo recently, and he said after 1992, most NGOs did not pay much attention to Cameroon because the government did not welcome them, and the civil society also did not welcome them. And then when we look at development in Senegal, for instance, there is a huge international civil society present, and international media covers issues in Senegal with insistence, persistence. So, and that is fairly lacking in Cameroon. So how will that international pressure happen at this point?
A month ago, we came out, our group, we came out with a letter that was sent to foreign parliaments, the congressmen in Britain, in France, in Switzerland, EU. We were clearly asking them for targeted sanctions to some people in our country. And the names are the ones that I gave to you right a while ago.
Okay.
Because all of them, they expect that if things go bad, from bad to worse in this country, they will escape into their country.
Sure.
So those sanctions, those are threats that those countries need to raise. I mean, if they are not afraid of anything, they will continue to do.
But you know, I don't know. With the Anglophone crisis, we have seen that the international pressure on Cameroon was a little bit shaky, or not even steady from any of these countries. The government actually had a free ride doing what they wanted to do, and there has been no sanctions so far. This is the 8th year. So
the 9th year even.
Yeah, this is the 9th year. So what makes you think that these same people are going to act differently in 2025?
You're talking about 1992, for instance. Let's go back to 1992, for instance. At that time, Mrs. Frances Cook was the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador here. And he said, talking about Mr. Frugi's victory, who was not, eager to negotiate anything. She said, you will never solve your problem in this country on the back of the French. The Anglophone crisis, the French people are the ones supporting all those actions, the actions of our government. So that's a particular case, because now for about 10 years, nothing has been done to solve that issue. And villages have been burnt out, and the French
wasted and all that, families separated and all that.
Yes, they know that because the guys in the system, they are reckoning on France. We should say things the way they are.
Okay, so in a way, we're trying to say
about
that
Macron, who decided that Mr. Campton will be released. So
So in a way, we're trying to say that the government did well to have sent the proclamation of results on Monday the 27th to give time to civil servants, to collect their salaries and furnish their homes with foodstuff.
That's my way of thinking.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as it stands, how do we bring that international pressure to bear on the government? You've said that the French are the stumbling block, and the United States, for example, Great Britain, Germany, China, Russia, all of them know that the United States is the farm, or that Cameroon is France's farm. So what else, if you are talking about international pressure, what else can be done?
My sir, if someone knows Mr. Macron personally, he should use that lever. Lever. If someone knows Mr. Putin personally, he should use that lever. If someone knows Mr. Trump personally, it's at their level, not at the level of ambassadors. No, really, no. We'll waste time.
But we think that ambassadors have their place. Oh. Don't you think ambassadors have their place?
Now they did what they had to do, because we know that the day after the elections, all the reports are sent out. The intelligence in this country have the right results, the right figures, and they sent those figures at the presidency. And the ambassadors, they know, even though they are still asking us to bring them some evidences of fraud. We say
but it's diplomatic. You don't expect them to come into a country and outrightly say something that is going to cause chaos or is going to add more salt to the injury.
That's why I say it's no longer at their level. It's at the level of their heads of states. That's what I'm saying. The ambassadors, they are weak. They are weak at this time, at this point. And those ambassadors will be attending the proclamation on Monday. All of them.
Sure. They are diplomatic representatives, so
yes, exactly. Yes.
It's but normal.
OK, so je pense qu'on on est presque à la fin. Je ne sais pas si Ben a une dernière question. Loveline, we have maybe a last question. So, Mr. Zesse, merci déjà à vous, Monsieur Léopold Zesse. On a beaucoup appris de votre expérience en tant que, je vous assure, ça, croyez-moi.
En tant que rebelle, non, je ne suis pas rebelle.
Non, je ne l'ai jamais dit. Je ne l'ai jamais dit. Je n'ai pas la prétention de le penser, rassurez-vous. Ben, do you have maybe a last question to Mr. Zesse?
I think I've exhausted all my questions to Mr. Zesse, and I'm
I was afraid you would ask me to take the lead down to the street. I said,
no, I won't do that. I
would have said at my age, no more. We just strategize. We just strategize now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any last question, Loveline?
Well, really, I don't think it's a question, but in a way, I want to thank Mr. Zesse for all what you've said. And I also want to tell you, everything beautiful from everything that has been said. You are in Yaoundé, and I'm happy you're not afraid to be so outspoken. I want to ask you now, like we said, that the person, it's the incumbent that will be proclaimed victorious come Monday, the 27th of October. What is your word to Cameroonians who will surely get to the streets to protest?
I would say, please don't destroy anything. Just show the people that you are present and that you are protesting. Make all kinds of noise that you can, but don't destroy anything. Don't burn anything, please. Just be noisy, and every day, because we don't know how long it will last. We don't know. In Madagascar, they spent 15 days, but for us,
yeah. Moi, j'ai juste une dernière ou deux petites questions pour vous, Monsieur Zesse. Vous avez dit tout à l'heure avoir été... Non. même pas avoir été, être un très bon contact, être un très bon ami pour M. Akeremouna, qui était un tout petit peu dans la course à la présidentielle avant de rallier M. Belebouba Maïgari. Aujourd'hui, qu'est-ce que vous dites? Quelle est votre perception des partis politiques au Cameroun? Avant que vous n'arriviez ce soir, nous avons discuté avec le PCN qui est, j'allais dire, acculé par des Camerounais qui estiment que les autres partis politiques auraient pu jouer un rôle dans le processus électoral actuel, c'est-à-dire en se prononçant de façon claire sur ce qu'ils ont vu dans les urnes, vraiment en partant de la loi, de l'article 113 du Code électoral. Pour vous, est-ce que les partis politiques aujourd'hui au Cameroun, je vais mettre entre guillemets opposition, faut-il continuer à leur faire confiance ou comment est-ce que vous percevez leur attitude autour des enjeux?
Sandrine, tu refuses de me poser des questions faciles, mais je vais te répondre de façon un
Donc,
peu plus...
c'est une question facile.
Non, je vais te répondre parce que la réponse, parce que si je donne une réponse partielle, tu ne vas pas forcément apprécier. Moi, je vais te dire, il y a à peu près, en 2018, j'étais un des conseillers d'Akeremouna. En matière, donc, il me dit tout le temps, you are my advisor for security, and so on, and so on. Donc, cette année, je lui ai dit, quand il a demandé mon avis, je n'étais même pas pour qu'il soit candidat. Parce que je voulais que Akere, que nous connaissons, qu'il soit plutôt une voie de recours. C'est-à-dire que les hommes politiques, qu'ils finissent de s'embrouiller et qu'on se dise, bon, on voudrait quelqu'un de neutre pour pouvoir diriger une transition au Cameroun. Et là, Akeremouna c'est le profil idéal. Le Cameroun ne sait pas ce que ce pays peut gagner avec quelqu'un comme Akeremouna. Déjà, il l'a rappelé, dans les 5 jours, il rapatrie 800 milliards au Cameroun pour l'affaire Glencore et tout ça. Donc, ça, c'est une parenthèse. Parti politique. On en a à peu près 380 au Cameroun. Is that
So maybe
serious?
the wisdom milliard that they have even been using around.
No, he doesn't have that money yet because he need to be empowered to be able to collect that money back, which the system is refusing to do because they are involved in those fronts.
Okay.
So, 380 partis politiques à peu près. J'ai eu l'honneur de rencontrer M. Tchiroma il y a à peu près 3 semaines, un mois ici. Je lui ai dit que, Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le Ministre, il y a une différence entre gagner l'élection par les urnes et entrer à étudier. Il me dit, vous avez raison, c'est juste, mais c'est un autre débat. Je dis, c'est important de le garder à l'esprit. Et les partis politiques, il y en a qui sont des partis de convenance et il y en a qui sont des partis de conviction. Donc, on met tout dans le même sac parti d'opposition. Non, je suis désolé. Cabral Libi n'est pas du tout un opposant. Joshua aussi, le petit frère Joshua aussi, que je connais personnellement, ils ont grandi avec mon petit frère aussi. Il n'est pas du tout un opposant. Les Matomba ne sont pas des opposants. Donc, on a validé leur candidature sous condition. Vous êtes journaliste, mais ne me demandez pas de le prouver. Même les journalistes, vous cachez vos sources. Donc, il y a des gens dont la caution a été payée par le système.
D'accord.
Donc, avec des conditions claires, de jamais entrer dans une coalition et puis reconnaître la victoire aussitôt après. Sinon, on sait où on les tient. Alors, dans un contexte comme celui-là, je vous réponds alors, moi, Léopold Zesse, il faudrait dissoudre tous ces partis politiques. Dans le contexte d'une transition, dissoudre tout cela et recommencer à zéro. Les États-Unis, 365, 370 millions d'habitants, 3 partis politiques. Nous, 30-35 millions d'habitants, 380 partis politiques. Ça rime à quoi? Des partis politiques qui sont dans les sacs. Donc, vraiment, il vaut mieux ne pas aborder la situation du Cameroun sous l'angle parti politique, en fait. C'est ce que je voulais vous suggérer. Et je termine en vous disant que ma pensée à moi, depuis toujours, Vous allez me dire que peut-être c'est mon long contact avec l'armée. Je rêve toujours d'un Jerry Rawlings camerounais. Quelqu'un qui va venir mettre fin au désordre pour dire qu'on dissout tout ça, on reprend. Je vous dis pourquoi. La Constitution, nous tous sommes d'accord, il faut la revoir. Il faut réduire le nombre de mandats et il faut que ce soit des élections à 2 tours. La forme de l'État doit être revue. Nous sommes une fédération qui doit fonctionner comme telle. La forme de l'État. Si la forme de l'État était ce qu'il fallait, la crise anglophone n'aurait jamais pris la forme qu'elle a prise là. Jamais. La nation doit revenir, doit être au-dessus de l'État. C'est la nation qui demande à l'État fédérateur, régulateur, de régler un certain nombre de situations. Mais c'est la nation qui vient avant l'État. Mais chez nous, on a fait exactement l'inverse. On est rentré dans un étatisme. Bon, ça, c'est un autre détail. L'Assemblée nationale ne représente rien au Cameroun aujourd'hui. 180 députés depuis 35 ans. À l'époque, on était à peine 20 millions d'habitants. Le Sénat, on n'est même pas sûr qu'on en a besoin au Cameroun. Le Conseil constitutionnel, on sait que tout ça doit être revu. Et l'ECAM doit être neutre. Il est impensable qu'un pays comme le Brésil, avec 196 millions d'habitants, 492 000 bureaux de vote, il ferme les bureaux en tenant compte des décalages horaires. Il ferme à 18h et 2 heures plus tard, on proclame le vainqueur. Et nous, 8 petits millions d'inscrits, il faut attendre 15 jours. Donc la loi électorale doit être revue, l'armée doit être revue, ainsi de suite. Donc je peux vous dire très sincèrement, si j'ai un conseil à donner à M. Issa Tchiroma pour sa transition, c'est de dire il faut absolument inclure l'armée dans ces transitions-là et autres, parce que sinon, il aura tout le temps peur d'être renversé par un coup. Alors que le militaire, lui, il arrive, il dit tout est dissous, on recommence. Ça me fait plaisir d'aller au Ghana et de voir qu'ils sont à leur 3e, 4e président après Jerry Rawlings et que le new président va toujours voir le past président pour pouvoir échanger, prendre une tasse de thé. Ça fait plaisir. Et une fois de plus, malheureusement, c'est les pays anglo-saxons.
Can we also borrow a leaf from Burkina Faso?
Yes, that's also, yes, Burkina Faso. Meaning that's a young guy. He's 37. Less than my elder son, but he's doing fairly well. And to me, I always say, c'est une incarnation reconnue de Thomas Sankara.
Alors, juste pour terminer, dernière question pour vous. Qui serait pour vous, ou qui incarne le mieux le Jerry Rawlings que vous cherchez au Cameroun? Qui l'incarnera le mieux, à votre avis?
Je vais te répondre ce que j'ai dit à l'ambassadrice des États-Unis au cours d'un dîner avec l'ambassadrice du Canada au cours d'un dîner avec l'ambassadeur des États-Unis et de Grande-Bretagne. Je vous réponds ce que je lui ai dit. Si je vous donne un nom, le gars là est mort. Donc, ce n'est pas la peine de le chercher. Non, c'est pas
alors,
la peine
on n'aura pas de nom.
C'est pour dire, c'est pour dire que personne n'a vu le Guigama venir au Gabon, personne. Donc, il ne faut même pas chercher à avoir un nom. Parce que
mais vous avez un profil, même si vous ne voulez pas dire un nom. C'est bien ça? C'est bien ce que je comprends?
Non, vraiment, je n'ai pas de profil. Non pas que j'ai besoin de parler en présence de mon avocat, mais je n'ai pas de profil. Je dis simplement que le moment venu, on dira « Ah, donc tout ça, c'était pour ça. Donc, c'était pour ça. » Donc, il ne faut même pas le chercher.
Ben, est-ce que je peux demander à Nof alors? C'est possible de faire ça?
Quand l'ambassadrice a insisté, je lui ai dit simplement que je suis prêt à parier que cet homme-là viendra de la région du Sud.
OK, on s'arrête là. Au moins, on a une région. Est-ce que c'est le Grand Sud avec le centre et l'Est? Est-ce que c'est juste la région du Sud?
Le Sud.
Est-ce que c'est le pays organisateur?
Il ne faudrait pas le voir sous cet angle-là.
OK, d'accord, j'ai compris. Je vais voir les 4 points cardinaux, nord, sud, est et ouest.
Voilà, parce que croyez-moi, les gens du Sud souffrent plus que tout le monde. J'étais là-bas pour un enterrement il y a 1 an, c'est incroyable. Ils souffrent Vous pouvez imaginer. Et si on les laissait s'exprimer, ils auraient voté Tchiroma à 80%.
No, but at least they express themselves, because what happened in Vomeka,
Exactly.
that was a way of way of expressing themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. I gave this example to those ambassadors last year. I just said that I reminded them that in November 2021, we were hosting the African National Cup, Football Cup here. And Mr. I can mention the names, Mr. Jacques Fabre Dogo, Mr. Gaston Eludo Essoba, Mr. Emmanuel V, the head of the Regional Council for the South. They were driving to Mr. Fabre Dogo's village between Ebolova and Abam. The people there, they blocked their vehicles.
They blocked them. That's true.
Yes,
they barricade.
And they spent the whole night in that place. Eludo Soba even promised to come out with 200 million CFA francs for their electricity, because the people there were saying, we need to watch our football matches on our TV sets at home, and we need to have water. We don't have electricity, we don't have water. I asked those ambassadors, you see, there was no opposition member between them.
Yeah, ok, bien. Merci à vous, Monsieur Léopold. C'était un grand plaisir pour moi de vous avoir ici. Il y en a qui s'interrogent pourquoi est-ce qu'il y a cette mention. Est-ce que c'est du mandarin? Je dirais comme ça, du mandarin.
Mandarin, oui, j'enseigne cette langue-là. Et j'ai écrit 5 tomes de livres.
Absolument. OK, juste pour préciser à ceux qui nous...
Donc, apprenons le chinois, français, mandarin, et puis let's learn Chinese, French, mandarin. Donc, les mêmes 5 tomes ont été écrits en anglais, en chinois, pour tenir compte des deux là. Et figurez-vous, mon ami ministre, encore en fonction, m'a barré pour des raisons que vous pouvez...
C'est qui ça, votre ami?
La directrice, non, ben vous m'avez posé la question, je voulais me taire là-dessus. je t'ai très rapidement.
J'aime bien savoir parfois.
Voilà. Alors, la directrice de l'Institut Confucius ici, une chinoise, en 2018, elle m'a appelé. Je suis allé la voir. Je la voyais pour la première fois. Et une chinoise, elle avait mon top 2 sur sa table. Elle prend le sel, le tire. Elle me demande, où est-ce que j'ai imprimé les livres? Je lui dis, ici. Elle me demande, est-ce que je peux rencontrer, je peux lui présenter mon imprimeur? J'ai dit, oui, bien sûr. Et après, elle me demande, pourquoi mes livres ne sont pas au programme? Donc là, mon chinois était déjà un peu limité. Je lui ai seulement répondu, politics. Elle a secoué la tête. Elle m'a dit, OK. Elle va en Chine pour la conférence mondiale des instituts Confucius samedi. Elle revient dans 2 semaines. Elle va écrire au ministre. Figurez-vous, elle est allée en Chine le samedi. Le dimanche, elle ne s'est jamais réveillée de sa chambre. Elle est décédée.
Oh non.
Oh là là.
Très bien.
That's sad. C'est vrai que j'espérais pas qu'on termine sur une note assez triste, mais on est de toutes les façons très heureux de vous avoir ici, et je pense que je vais continuer à demander qui est cet ami ministre. Je vais continuer, c'est sûr.
Je peux vous le donner. Je peux vous le donner. C'est mon camarade de classe, c'est mon frère. Je vous le donne là maintenant. C'est Fouda Séraphin. Fouda Séraphin.
D'accord. Merci beaucoup.
Depuis cette date-là, il ne me voit plus parce qu'il sait ce qu'il a fait. Et moi, je ne lui en veux pas de toutes les façons, puisque nous voulons pour notre pays. Nous voulons
comme dit Ivoirien, ça c'est lourd. So for those who are wondering, like the Chinese is just like, is a language because Mr. Nzose used to teach it and he knows how to speak it. So that's why. So don't be afraid. There's nothing wrong with it. So merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup à vous, Monsieur Léopold. So thank you to you, Loveline, to be part of this night and conversation. Je vous souhaite une très bonne soirée. Au revoir. Merci. Au plaisir de vous.
Ça va changer cette année. Ça va changer. Things will change this year.
On espère véritablement que ça change. Alors,
OK, Sandrine. It was a good one having being with you on the platform. So
thank you.
that was good. Yeah.
Thank you, lovely. Okay, merci
Okay.
donc à tous. Merci à ceux qui nous ont suivis ce soir pour cette soirée au cours de laquelle nous avons évidemment abordé les dernières questions d'actualité autour de l'élection présidentielle du 12 octobre dernier au Cameroun. Juste un rappel, la proclamation des résultats aura lieu lundi 27 octobre prochain. Ça, c'est l'information que nous avons eue bien au cours de cette journée. Bien sûr, de Clément Atangana, qui est l'actuel magistrat et puis président du Conseil constitutionnel. Merci donc à vous de nous avoir regardés sur YouTube, sur Facebook, sur toutes les plateformes qui sont associées à ce merveilleux projet. Merci à vous de soutenir Mimimo.info. C'était un plaisir pour moi d'être là ce soir et au plaisir de vous retrouver très bientôt. Bonsoir.